This right here is the topic of the debate. In this debate, he's going to try to change the topic. So please pay attention to everything. Keep track, take your notes, and you be the judge on who's the victor of this debate. Here we go.
Nothing but the subtext and the
yourself on the big screen so she can get a better look at it. God,
sure.
The fuck?
You see it? Hold on for a second. Let me give myself the big screen.
I'm about to say, give yourself the big screen.
It's kind of hard. I'm sitting there in my office, but here you go.
I got it. I got it.
Real simple. That's what he agreed to.
No, he didn't agree. He agreed to because he told me about it.
With all due respect, stop making excuses for this man.
Who makes
he came looking for me, and he challenged me, right? And so I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm not making excuses. I haven't even said anything yet.
Okay, so, got it. All I need. Here's what I wanted him to agree with today. If he can't come over here, right? Because I'm not going over there. I'm not doing co-hosting with him either. Okay, but he's more than welcome to come over. And here's the thing. Hold on before all. I just want to make sure that you're clear so that you can report right back to your brother. Okay. I'm going to give him as much time as he needs to prove his argument, uninterrupted. In fact, I'm willing to give one of his mods mod power. However, and I want you to make sure that you're clear on this when you report it back, because I don't want any misconceptions and everybody hears it. Yeah, I specified EST. I specified it, and I specified Central Standard Time too to him. He can have one of his mods. I get to keep one of my mods. But we are not co-hosting because I know that game.
What's the game with that? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, I guess you just got to stay confused. But
yeah, I've been around the block long, and co-hosting just means that y'all have to follow each other and y'all sit side by side. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. It also means that you can mute the other side so that the other person is not being able to speak either.
Yeah, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Yeah, he don't do that.
Yeah, cause I was finna say what I would do is I would take all the mod powers that you gave out and just have that one person that you could trust, and then have one of his people mod. You know what I'm saying? So you can take my mod powers, and I would suggest just have one on each side, just one mod a piece. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, like over here on this side of the track, so everybody. Okay, I mean.
Wait a minute. Say what? Why are you? Whoa! Before I didn't agree to any of this.
Yeah, I'm talking to Teach. I don't know what she talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. Yeah, she's talking to me. Right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like
I say a mod. This is what I want. Before all, he agreed. He told me to set it up. I set it up. I made the videos. He knows the stipulations. Okay, real simple. We're not going to do the pseudo shuffle today. He needs to come over here. If he wants to battle, he wants to come over here. We can have that debate. It's not a problem. I promise you, I run a fair live. I will take out every single mod but one, and I will give someone mod powers. And it will be us side by side. Mods down at the bottom, monitoring the chat. That's it. Real simple. Ain't no tricks up my sleeve or anything. Nothing. If he got the information, if he's got the information and he's been doing this for years, then great. He can come over here. We can have the conversation. I've been teaching for years.
Okay, I mean, again, I don't know what's up with this power trip you got going on.
It's not a power trip. No. No. Before all, hold on for a second. It's not a power trip. It's not a power trip at all, right? It's not a power trip. And I also am not stupid. So I know that I'm probably being recorded behind the phone as well. I know all the games that you guys play on here. Okay. So we can keep playing it over. Hold on before all. We can keep playing it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. I know the game. All I'm asking is for him to come over here. I will drop all my mods but one and give one of your mods power. I think that's a fair approach. I will take every single mod but one off, and on top of that, I will let you know who the mod is. But he has to come here.
I'm not speaking for him, but he never been afraid. He already took down all the
Okay,
big
that's great. That's
games.
exactly what I want. I want a person that's not afraid. So please,
Okay,
come
yeah.
on over here.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think he's afraid. He's beat everybody across the board. I don't think it'll be hard to beat you. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
wonderful.
I don't. Yeah, he doesn't have any fear. I mean, you love what 4'11". I don't think he's scared. So I mean I don't think he's intimidated at all. So yeah, I mean you have a good day, and at 7 o'clock I would gladly make sure that he gets over here to destroy you, because I actually
7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock
I,
now. You guys don't know time. It's 7 o'clock now. It's
he coming.
6
Yeah,
p.m.
he coming.
Central.
Yeah, he coming. Again, here's the thing. Like, I actually love it when he destroy y'all. I actually get a kick out of it.
That's wonderful.
And then after the fact, we get on the phone and we crack mad jokes. So yeah, I don't think he's intimidated at all. But let me go ahead and give him a phone call. Hold up. Let's see what's going
Yeah,
on.
give him a phone call. Give him a phone. Give your brother a phone call. What's going on, OHF?
What's up? What just happened, man?
What'd you say?
What just happened? It's supposed to be a debate today?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a debate today with me and Chief Natural.
Okay. On here, on what topic?
I can't believe I'm about to say this. Blacks are indigenous to America. That is what he's going to prove today.
Gotcha. So yeah, he's going to read a bunch of white colonizer descriptions that are vague and then try to apply them to black people, like descriptions on the Americans. So Lord Natural's only doing this because you knew, and he's probably because you knew, and he trying, and unlike what she just stated, he knows everybody on here will absolutely destroy him. That's why they kind of hiding. Right? They're hiding. And Beefy, let me tell you this right here. Your whole side, y'all don't have a fundamental. Remember, this summer he was supposed to show the timeline of y'all history. He never did that. He was supposed to show the timeline of the history. Remember, I challenged them all.
So hold on real quick, OHF. Apparently he's live right now. Now, I don't think he understands times. So where to go.
Y'all lives together, that could work. You got to drop both of your panels though.
The only thing I'm worried about, well, I'll say this. The only thing I'm worried about with merging my lives is that, no, he doesn't think it's going to be a co-host. He knows that it wasn't supposed to be a co-host ungreeted. But what I don't want is for his side, number one, to mute me or to mute him so that the information doesn't go through his members. Because I know that. I know that tactic. Right? I've at least been around TikTok for that long to know.
Yeah, they did that too.
Yeah.
There's really
I want them to hear the information. Don't be afraid to hear the
way.
information.
It's really no way to do a debate on TikTok, truthfully. I've never had a debate with him on TikTok. Nobody's had a debate with him on TikTok. I think he had a couple people on YouTube, select people. But like I said, he only wants weird topics. I think the best thing y'all do is to reschedule and do it on YouTube and do it with a moderator and do it in a controlled environment. I don't see any way. They're not doing this because they have information. They're doing this for optics for their side because of the morale is so low because they've been getting beat up all last 2.5 years. So they're looking for a win, right, at whatever cost. So this is not honest. This is not them coming to try to look good. He's just coming on. He's going to come over here and try to sound overconfident to try to, appeal to his people. This is nothing about this is sincere. This is all optics.
Apparently he's coming.
Okay.
Good. I see him.
All right, we'll drop. I'll drop.
Okay. Yep, go ahead and drop. Hold on, Chief Natural. Hold on for a second.
I was going to say nothing.
Let's see. Yeah, I saw it real quick. Hold on for a second. Let's see. So, Chief Natural, this is how we're going to do it tonight. Okay, over here. This is a teaching live. So I'm going to give you as much time as you want to put out your sources, uninterrupted. I'm going to kick all of my mods but one. And I'm going to grant you a mod. We'll both have a mod. You can pick whichever mod you want in here. Does that sound fair?
I'm trying to see what's the point of having a mod if it's just me and you.
Well, it makes you feel comfortable, right?
I don't need a mod and you.
Oh, you don't need a mod? Oh, you don't need a mod. Okay. Well, that's great. Then here's what I'll do. I'll kick all of my mods. And we can go modless. That's fine. Hold on for a second. Let's see, remove mod. Remove mod. Removing Tika as well. OHF is gone. Danny is gone. Also gone.
I don't even need that many mods on my regular day-to-day lives.
Yeah, I know. I bet you don't, man. I mean, 30,000 followers, that's what it gets you, right? You ain't got to worry about any of that.
Actually, it was really 200K until they took.
All right. All my mods are gone. Let's see, I'm going to try to change this around a little bit. Expand both. Let's see, but I want to try to take this. Hold on for a second. Let's keep moving. Trying to sit here and fix this up for us so that we can see both screens. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right, perfect. Hold on for a second. Let's see, I'm trying to get this going. I can't. So here's how this is going to go. You'll present your argument first. And like I said, I'll give you all the time in the world to do it.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is a questionnaire. Ask you a series of questions. It's just yes or no questions. You don't have to give statements. It's just straight to the chase. Yes or no.
So like I said, present your argument.
That's what I'm doing.
And it's going to go uninterrupted. So if you think I'm going to give you an answer to it, you won't get an answer.
It's just a simple yes or no.
Yep.
So why don't you do a questionnaire before the debate? First of all, nobody didn't introduce themselves. Nobody didn't say the criteria.
We haven't started yet.
Hold on.
We haven't started yet, my man.
Excuse me. Hold on. So the way how I do my debates and how I did my past debates, we have questions we ask one another. I don't know if you ever debated before, but we have questions we ask one another. And then we operate off that. Then we debunk one another based off the answers we have given in the questionnaire.
Got you.
So I don't know how you ever done a debate. I don't know if you developed anything in that series. For what I understand, this is your first debate. So, like I said, I got a questionnaire first. Then I'm gonna tackle each point. So I need to know what's your thoughts with just a basic yes and no. That's it.
You will hear my thoughts in the rebuttal to your argument. That's how we doing it. So I don't know what debates you're talking about, right? But like I told you in that video today, remember when you kept asking me and talking to me in the messages? I said this was going to be a teaching live. So I'm going to give you all the time in the world, Chief Natural, to teach. So this is your opportunity to teach us. Teach this group of 1,000 individuals that I have.
Not a classroom to teach people.
Well, guess what? In my live, it is, brother.
In
We're not going to argue and
we
clash
have
out
an
over it.
introduction. We talk about our points, and then we dive into it. What you're doing, that's not a debate. You
I know.
say, I'm gonna have a classroom where you teach a full lecture, then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. That's not a debate.
Gotcha.
So
You ready for your argument?
I have a questionnaire to start it off. I don't know. Is you scared of the questions?
It's so funny that you're talking to me like this on my live.
Are you scared of the questions? You're gonna do the
No,
questions?
I'm not scared of no questions.
Then the debate
No.
is off. If you're not gonna do the questions,
Listen, brother. Listen,
If
Chief
you're not gonna
Natural.
do if you're not gonna do the questions, then the debate is on. If you can't follow the guidelines of a real strategic debate, then
What you
it's
mean
off.
strategic? Strategic.
It's off. If you cannot go ahead and do the
Strategic.
questions, you can't do the damn questions, then it's over with. So what you want to do? Port City ain't had no problem. Mofax ain't had no problem. OHF ain't had no problem. It seems you're the only Pan-African that has a problem. After these questions, then we can go ahead and present the evidence, case by case.
Gotcha.
So are you
So,
ready?
you gonna talk or what?
So here's the first questions. Did the original usage of the terms nigger, negro, negro, and negro specifically refer to individuals of African origin? Yes or no?
No.
Is the term black phenotypic traits commonly associated with Africans without being of African origin? Yes or no? Gotcha. Were Black Americans ever historically classified as Negro in an anthropological or scientific context?
Say that one more time.
Were Black Americans ever historically classified as Negroid in an anthropological or scientific context?
Yes, they were.
Do you agree with scientific or anthropological description of the term Negro, which includes features such as broad nose, thick or medium lips, dark toned skins, and woolly hair and varied hair textures, as seen in groups of the Fulani, the Melanesians, and the Tuareg people?
Slow down and say that one more time, brother. Well, this sure is a new one. I've never heard this before. A questionnaire before a debate. Wow. Good stuff. Nah, I've debated before, but you don't do a questionnaire. This is new, but it's okay.
Hey, my bad. I had father that we should take care of. But
Hey, brother, I understand that completely.
okay. Do you agree with the science? Hold on, I ain't said that part. Do you agree with the scientific or anthropological description of the term Negro, which includes features such as a broad nose, thick and medium lips, dark skin tones, woolly hair, and varied hair textures, such as the groups like Fulani, Melanesians, and the Tuareg people?
I don't recall.
Do you need me to repeat the question again?
No, I just don't recall.
So you don't recall the physical appearance of what a Negro looked like that is described in the scientific, in the anthropological world.
Brother, I just don't recall. I don't recall.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to that. We just got a few more and we done.
Feels like I'm in a doctor's office. Oh my God.
Do you agree with the scientific description and classification of the term Negroid?
I don't recall that either.
It's just a simple yes or no. You know what the word Negroid means.
I don't know.
Okay. So we got some inconsistencies here. Do you believe that the terms Negro and Negroid refer to people of the same ancestral group or stock?
No.
Perfect. Have fossils or skeletal remains of individual classified as Black, Negro, and Negroid ever been discovered in the Americas?
I don't recall that ever happening.
You said that never happened?
I said I don't recall that ever happening. I don't know.
Okay. So if this was to be proven, what would be the conclusion of the debate?
That some scientists found some very interesting stuff.
Would it be a W for natural or a W for you?
I think it would be a W for history.
Are you aware of any pre-Columbian descriptions of individuals with African or Negroid features in Mesoamerican art, sculpture, cuneiform, such as the Olmec heads? Yes or no?
Cuneiform is what you're talking about?
Yes or no?
No, did you say cuneiform? I just want to make sure I heard that right.
I probably said it wrong, cuneiform or cuneiform.
Yeah, cuneiform. So cuneiform is ancient Sumer. So I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. So you got, I don't know on that one.
Cuneiform or cuneiform. What did you say?
It's basically like an inscription within stones.
Oh, okay. Let me try to think. Hold on. Like hieroglyphics?
Something similar in that.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Realms. It's just various different descriptions of incisions in a rock to create an art or a sculpture or an icon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't recall.
You don't recall? Okay. I only got 2 more questions and I'm done. And that's it. Hold on. Just make sure. So do I have to say that one? Okay, we can skip that one because that's not necessary. Have any genetic studies of mitochondrial DNA findings indicated an African lineage or what we call quote unquote Negroid lineage in pre-Columbian American populations? Yes or no?
Negroid population. I don't recall.
Oh, so I see you sticking with that Negroid. Okay.
No, I just don't recall.
That topic is going to get real interesting in this debate. Just letting you know. Does having physical features commonly associated with Africans, such as dark skin, I think I already read. Yeah, I already read that.
I thought you had 2 more questions. This seems like 3 more. Can we get to the debate?
Hold on, wait a minute. Because there was something really important. One of these questions was really important. I had to get across. Okay, this is the final question. Was the term Negroid politically changed to the word African? Yes or no?
I don't recall that. I don't recall.
I appreciate that. You don't recall.
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Okay. So I don't know why you're having this debate when you don't recall of any of these things, because it shows me that you haven't even looked into anything that's dealing with us as a people being here. But we're going to go ahead and start the debate. So since a lot of this stuff you don't recall, we're going to dive into the word Negro, Negroid, and various other different variations of this word so we could scientifically get the understanding of the fossils that was found here in America that was described as such. So first we got to get the understanding. We got to baby step it. And you said yourself, this is a classroom, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then you want me to do the whole presentation or do you just want me to do one part, then you go?
And you can do the whole presentation. Did you actually make a PowerPoint? You got a slide deck?
No, I ain't did the slide deck for that one. But here we go. I got everything in order. Don't worry.
Okay. Shoot. I didn't do that.
You can have a PowerPoint, whatever. I don't get how you're gonna make a PowerPoint without knowing my points, but okay. Oh, anyway, so we got a baby step, but we got to start with the simple things, the terminology that was used during that time period to classify what was Negro or what was Negroid or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna turn the camera around. All right. Man, I wish the screen was bigger. That's why I say I love to do this shit on TikTok Studio where I could do the co-host. That's why I said do that. Yeah, this I can actually share my computer screen itself instead of doing this.
Okay.
But don't worry about it because I'm on my new page. So it wasn't.
Oh, hold on real quick. Let me because I said it was going to be fair. I'm going to mute myself and not interrupt at all. So any more questions, I'm just not going to answer them.
Oh no, it ain't gonna be no more questions. It ain't gonna be no more questions. The question I asked you was, did the original usage of the word Negro, Negroid, and Negro specifically refer to individuals of African origin? You said no, and that is correct. It didn't. So we still gonna put this up anyway. It didn't. But a lot of you Pan-Africans always say it does. So we got the earliest usage of this word Negro, coming from Eliot. Oh, damn. What the fuck just happened? Okay. Coming from Eliot Thomas. Sir Thomas Eliot, 1542. Right? And this is the only word in here. And you can read it yourself. You can download the book yourself. You can look at the source yourself. And this where it says Negro, or to make black. It says or to make black or to be black. Nothing dealing with African or being an African descent or being an African slave. Nothing whatsoever. So the next source that's coming from Sir Eliot Thomas, 1559. This is just my case right here. They're showing, you said this is a classroom. We got to teach that importance. Sorry, I don't know why my phone keep doing that. Here go the word again. Still does not mean African origin. It says Niger, black word, it means black. So that's all we looking at. But the main thing we looking for your Pan-African case, for y'all saying that, hey, black people wasn't found in America, it means African. I'm basically destroying that narrative, removing African as a context to the word black when it's applied to us as a people historically. Okay, so we're looking at, that's the book I already showed. Now we're looking at 1538, Sir Eliot Thomas Knight. The same word again, Niger, black, foul, and it says negrito. Negritos, Negritia, black, colored, nothing dealing with Africa. Negricio, I believe that's where it said. No, Negrio, Negrisco, to be black. Negricio, to be somewhat black. Down here, Negro, Nigro, to make black, also to be black. And the last one, Negra, which means blackness. Okay, we still not seeing anything dealing with people being African or African descended. Only they're describing skin color, right? So this is just the same thing over. This is a later dictionary. This is by R. Woodington, 1575. The dictionary in Latin and English, newly corrected. 1575, we see down there at the bottom. And it's the same words. Niger means black. Nigelus means brown, a color somewhat black. Nigra, nigerus, which means blacker, more black. So we're just seeing the same thing over and over again. Just an indication that it's talking about skin color, nothing to do with black whatsoever. So we're getting this understanding, right? So we're going to go up even further. 1576, the vocabulary from 1576 from Luca Antonio. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but just for the sake of the viewers, for the sake of the people that actually want to know this stuff, hold up. Let me X that off and bring it back in a different software. because it's not letting me go over the way it should be letting me do that. Okay, bring it back over here. All right. Down here, for the sake of the viewers, this is the name. This is the name of the author because I can't pronounce his last name correctly, but there it is right there. And there go the date, and that's the source. All right. And so we going in this book and we trying to see what's their version of it. And it says Negro, Vidi Nero. All right. And we know this is Italian. This is Italian. Okay. I didn't get the language down there, but this is Italian. We put it in Google Translation, Nero, right here. And we go over to the left. English, it means black. That's all it simply means. Nothing dealing with Africa. Nothing dealing with being a sub-Saharan African. None of that. So we got to eliminate this context of being African associated with the color black. Just because you are called black does not mean you are African. Now, I believe I have one more dictionary, 1520. This is the oldest, but that's written, I believe, in English before we get to Latin. And this is 1520 by Hortus. Come on, stop that. Oh, I got it in the wrong browser again. Hold on. That's why I did that. Okay, by Hortus. That's his name right there, 1520. Pull up his date. And we got the same word in here. Hold on, wait. No, that's not the word. Hold up. It's right here. Sorry. Niger, obscured, black. All right. We got the other words right there. Negrido. It says blackness. Negrim, to be black. Nigro. The English is right here on the side over here. Negrim, fierce. All right. So like I just showed, there's no indication of being black in none of these dictionaries during the time of the colonial time when they was describing us as a people. All right. So now we go looking at the word Negroid because y'all said y'all don't like that word. Y'all said it's outdated, it's racist, but turn around and use the word Negro and black as if that's not racist too. Western Secondary School Dictionary, abridged, from 1913. All right. And it says right here, we're looking at different contexts. This is a more modern sense, up-to-date sense of what the word Negro is, but you're going to see the more different terminologies of the word. But we're just going to start in Negro because we're not worrying about Negrito, but it says Negro. It says a person of typical African branch of the Ethiopian race, or loosely of any of the black races of Africa, including the Bantus, Pygmies, and Hottentots, and the Bushmans. Now, number two, usually a black man, a person having more or less than Negroid blood. And look, there at the bottom it says, or pertaining to a characteristic of Negro, black. I hope we got all that understanding. We see how this shit changed, correct? Now we're looking at the word Negroid. It says characteristics of or resembling the Negro. That's what the word Negroid is. I don't understand why we would love to use the word Negro and not Negroid and say Negroid is basically discriminatory. But all it's just saying is you look like a Negro. That's all it's saying. So there's nothing discriminatory about when we still use that word today. Now we need to look at a context of what Negroid mean from when it was actually used. The first time it was actually used. And it came from this book right here, The Races of Mankind by Robert Brown. So we're going to see what he meant. The one that actually put it in the book first, what he meant by the word Negroid, right? So once we get this understanding of what he meant by Negroid, on the book page, hold on, wait a minute. It's not in this folder. Sorry. It is back. No, it probably is in this folder. Where did I have it? Where did I put it? I didn't screenshot it. That's what happened. Okay, so I know which folder is in right now. Hold on. So we're gonna go to, because I already got a copy of this in here. The word Negroid and his first usage. So we're gonna go to the folder called Negroids in America. All right. Okay, turn the view on correctly. All right, come on now. Okay. Hold on a little minute. I don't know why it's doing all this mess.
You can do it, brother. You good. I'm waiting. You good.
Look, hold on. Shit, I guess it's loading or something. It's supposed to show all of the. Oh yeah, my computer froze. Hold on. There we go. That's why I was doing it. All right, let's get back to it. For debate. Negroid in America. There we go. All right, now it's showing up perfect. All right, so in this book, he talks about the word. Hold on. Where is it? If not, I'm just gonna I'm gonna pull up the book live time then. Cause I'm not seeing it. All right, so what I'm gonna pull up the book live time, cause I thought I had a screenshot in that folder. So we're gonna go to the Internet Archives. All right. Go over to the top. And the name of that book is, but it should pop right up once I type it in. Okay. So in this book, it's going to give you a description of what a Negroid person is. So get to it. Back. Hold on. Wait a minute. I thought I saved a screenshot of the book. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. That's why I'm tripping. The Races of Mankind. There it is. Okay. Races of Mankind. All right. Now we're going to pull it up. Sorry about the delay. I thought I had that page screenshot. I don't know why I didn't save. But we finna get to it. Bring the date back. Hold on, who is it by? Hold up, make sure I got the right author, Robert Brown. All right, Robert Brown. Here we go. All right, now we got it. All right, so here go Races of Man. And we're gonna type in the word Negroid and we're gonna get his thought on what the Negroid person is. Just pay attention on where he said these Negroid people are, and he's gonna give you basically gonna tell you who these people are today, right? So I believe this is the page. No, that's not the page. It is right here. It's on page 397. All right. All right. So right here, it says the Bezi and the Mokoba tribes whose country is in a vicinity of the Lake Ngami, seems to be more allied to the Hottentots than to any other race, while the Batoka of the low lying lands of the Zimbabwe are more Negroid than Negro-like in appearance. So he told you who the people was. He said these people called the Bataka of Zimbabwe are Negroid. So let's look at what these people look like, because we got to understand this before we start diving into the information about the people in America. So this is the Bakota in Zimbabwe. This is what a Negroid person looks like for what they say, right? Also, a Fulani person would be considered a Negroid because the Fulani people have woolly straight hair, silkish hair, but they look like a Negro. So they'd be considered Negroid, right? More people of the general location of today that is called Negroid, but in that time period, they were called Negroid. So we understand. So we go back to the word Negroid down here at the bottom. It says characteristics of resembling the Negro. If this person came in America, you would still call that person a Negro. Even though this man that created this word in this book, in his first usage said, this is what Negroid people look like. So now, do we understand that? I think we all understand now, right? Here's the final photo of what a Negroid person looks like. The same people. This is the same people from the early 1900s. I'm gonna open it up in a different software because it's not gonna let me move over it properly. This is the same people that is called Negroid, right? Look at his face, look at his nose, look at everything. This is what they call Negroid, right? His skin color, yeah, he's black. He's the same color as us. He's the same color as us. Same thing. Look like us. Look just like us too. Just like every single black person around the world looks like each other. So now, you already stated that no, it does not mean you're African. I just showed what Negro people look like. If someone was described as black, does that automatically make them African? You said no. Okay. So let me go to this source right here to show you that the word Negroid from this source right here is called the American Associations of the Biological Anthropologists, AABA. And this is the subheader right here. AABA statement on race and racism. It says right here, Encyclopedia Britannica, and this they pull from a quote from that same source. It says the Encyclopedia Britannica now treats the word Negro as obsolete and notes a replacement with the what word? That says the word Negroid got to be replaced with African. So they changed it to something else. So anybody that was considered a Negroid, now they all called African. And here's the quote down here from that source. It says Negro is a term formerly used to designate one of, hold on, I keep using the wrong fucking browser. I mean the wrong fucking software.
Brother, you doing fine. You just keep going. You good.
It won't let me move over the way how
you are good. You are good. I got time. You are good.
It says used to designate one of the major racial divisions of mankind. Today, it says today the term is considered outdated and inoffensive. And what did the terms they replaced it with? They replaced the word Negroid with African, Sub-Saharan African, West African, Neolithic, and Bantu. That's what they replaced the word with. So anybody, it doesn't matter where you was from. It don't matter where your origins is. They literally reclassified you as African. So that is derogatory and that is disrespectful. So the reason I'm saying now, since we know that the Negroid means African now, and it doesn't matter where your origins is now we can dive into the source. Now we can look at updated sources now that got the word African, because we know that that word just simply meant Negroid of any origin because they had to replace it. So you using the word African doesn't mean you come from Africa. Just letting you know. That was the whole point of me running you through that whole scenario. All right. So now I asked you about genetics. You said you have not heard, you don't know about the situation dealing with the genetics part, right? So we're gonna go to this source right here. They found our genetics, one of our genetics here in America, pre-Columbian time. And we actually have an official date, right? We actually have an official date, sorry. So the whole point of this debate is proving the presence of Negro and what you call African or what you call Black Negro presence in America pre-Columbian time. That's what we proving. It says ancient DNA reconstructs the genetic legacies of the pre-contacted Puerto Rican communities. Now you can look at this source yourself. Mind you, matter of fact, I want you to type this in because I want you to follow where I'm finna go, right? Because what I did, I just screenshotted everything for what I was doing on my computer. And what we're gonna do at the bottom left is gonna have this this statement right here. It's gonna say supplements down here at the bottom left. So if you look at the bottom left on the official website, it's gonna say supplements, quick supplements, and download that Excel. I'm pretty sure one of our brothers already showed you this. So we're going through it again. And we're gonna look at the abstract on the first page real quick. Damn. It says the indigenous people who occupied the islands of Puerto Rico since at 3000 BC due to the demographic shifts that occurred after European contact. The origins of these ancient populations and their genetic relationship to present day islands are unclear. They don't know where these people come from. It says we use ancient DNA to characterize the population history and genetic legacies of pre-contacted indigenous communities from Puerto Rico. It says bone, tooth, and dental calculus samples were collected from 124 individuals. That would be the reference panel that they're using, and these are ancient individuals. It says in 3 people, we got the reference panel, yada, yada, yada. We just seen it ourselves. Now we go into the database, right? So like I said, if you would have clicked that website, it would have pulled this up, right? So this is just a representation of what you're supposed to be seeing. I need to really set that to default. See? But right here, this would be a representation of what you should see on the Excel, right? So on the far left, we got the haplogroup number 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the subhaplogroup right there. And at the very bottom, where the next thing we're going to be going to, it is the sample information. We're going to be going to that. So this screenshot is just a representation of what you're supposed to be looking at if you're going to be following me along. So we're going to go down here, click the bottom left, and it should take you right here at the top. It should take you to this page. And right here, it should say at the top, post mtDNA enrichment sequencing, haplogroup assignment, and contamination analysis results. And we're gonna, oh, my bad.
Can you tell me that one more time? You went a little fast. Can you go back? What tab are you in?
I told you to click the wrong one. Sorry. It was S3 mito capture stats. It's right there at the bottom.
Yep, I got you. I won't interrupt anymore. I just wanted to know.
No, it's good. You just want to follow along. All right. So at the top, like I said, it should say post mtDNA enrichment sequencing haplogroup assignments and contamination analysis results. Okay. So just to let people know that the post-enrichment DNA is the final DNA they extracted from the sample population, which is the ancient population we were just talking about. And the 124 pre-colonial sites is the reference panel. All right. So the first one we're going to be going to in this database, if you scroll down, we're going to number 32 and 33. And that is the sample PC. PC is the location of where they got this sample from. And that's the number that it was assigned, 448. And we're looking at PC-448R. and it says excluded. And yeah, that's the number we're reading right there. They
Sorry
tell
to
you
interrupt
how
you
many.
again. Can you go back again? You went again a little fast, and I'm trying to follow
Sorry.
along with you. So can you go
All
back?
right, there you go.
Hold on, keep it right there. Can you keep it right there for a second? Because I'm going to control F so I can see that and follow along with you. So
All right, there you go.
hold on for a second. And I'm looking at PC 448R, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All
Let's
right.
go to number 32 and 33.
Gotcha.
You got it? Going over, it says excluded. At the very top, it says pre-merge reads. It says 24,665. And they got the duplicates, what was duplicated, 6,615 and 68 map unique reads. So these are basically the amount of times that, I don't know why my screen keep doing it. This is basically the amount of time this particular sample was popping up, okay? So get to the next point. We still, hold on, which one is it? Yeah, we still on the same thing. If you scroll to the right till you get to this part right here, it says haplogroup analysis. Then scroll over. I believe it's the left. It's under the letters R and S on the Excel.
On the what now? On the X what?
On the software that you want right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, on the Excel?
Yeah, there you is right there. Are you there? Okay. And we looking at the same numbers, 31 and 32. PC 448. And we scroll over, it tells you it's MT haplogroup, it's L1. L1 comes from the Negro people, right? And we actually have the date and when this was discovered. We have a Negro woman in Puerto Rico, pre-Columbian time. Right.
Sorry to interrupt you one more time. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to do that. I just want to make sure. Can I see that one more time?
Yeah, it's L1C2A.
So
L1, all L's come from black people.
C2A. And is this mtDNA or is this Y-DNA?
This is mtDNA.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And the next one is the Austronesian. And we know the Austronesian are black people. So it's number 70 on the same one. On the same one that we own. It's PI-416. Okay. You go over, it tell you its haplogroup is M6. We all know the Native Americans and all their haplogroups are Q, X, A, B, C, and D. But we have M6, another Negroid population that comes from the Austronesians here in Puerto Rico, pre-Columbian time. We finna pull up the dates. And the last one I believe I have is on the same one, is T-1. If you could type that in. Okay, T-1. What is its haplogroup? Its haplogroup is L3. And I am a L3, just to let you know. It's in my DNA. I can show you. L3E2B3. All right. And remember, the thing you're supposed to be paying attention to is the sample number. It's T1. And the other ones I just gave you. In case you ain't got it down.
Break it down. Make it plain.
PI-4116. And the other one is PC-448. You gotta keep tabs of those samples. So the last one, I believe, hold on, let me make sure this is the last one because I don't wanna. Okay, I got two more. All right. Right here. EB-2R. All right. And this haplogroup is L3 E2 B1A. Okay. And the last one, I believe, yeah, I already did. Yeah, this is the last one. And then we're going to get the dates. is T9, T-9. And we're looking at the second one, T-9R. And then when it has 0.19%, we go all the way over. And its haplogroup is L1C23A. Now let's get the dates on when this was discovered. Because we all argued on TikTok, all Pan-Africans agreed that L is black people. It's the black woman. It's what y'all call what? The mitochondrial Eve. That's what y'all all say, right? So T-1, Tibbs, male. What year is that? 1302. Either minus 42 or plus 42. And that would be, and we talking 14, we talking Puerto Rico. There's the AMS date. And BP means before present, which usually means before 1970. All right. And we got the more calibrated date, the median, when they remove all the duplicates and everything, this is what they have. 714 years ago. Pre-Columbian. And that was T1, that was a male. The next one, PC448. PC448. The PC, there go the name of the location. That's what PC stand for. Under determined. We get the year. 1189 years ago. Either 45 plus or 45 negative. And after remove all the duplicates, we got 835 years ago. And that was L3, wasn't it? Before the African slave trade. Now, going up here, just to give y'all what I stated, the AMS date is a carbon dated age. 3,202 years is 45 greater or less before Columbian. T-1 is the medium age 835 years ago, still before Columbian time. BP means before 1950. I'm sorry, I know I said 1970, but it's actually 1950. So I know I probably screwed that up right there. The median age is the calibrated age, the fixed age. That's what it is. So we still pre-Columbian. Oh, they mad now? They mad. But here it is. 1319 years ago, either 42 up or 42 take away. And that's the AMS date. Well, after all the junk is removed out, the duplicates and everything, we got 700 years ago. 700 years ago. We talking Negroid haplogroups. Is either today y'all finna change our mind on what a haplogroup is and who is applied to, or something's finna happen tonight. All right, we looking at the other one, PI 416. I believe this is the M6, the Austronesians, the Melanesians, the ones we've been talking about. We said that was here, and y'all saying no, they wasn't. It was only the Native Americans. Those are a Negroid people too, Melanesians, the black ones that stay in the South. We're talking 980 years ago, either 41 years up or 41 years less. And the median date is the highest date after everything is taken away. Oh my God, 1,079 years ago. Pre-Columbian. The point is not to prove that these people are me. The point is to prove that there was a black population in the Americas from a genetic standpoint, from an archaeological standpoint, from a terminology standpoint, and from a colonial standpoint. We just covered the genetics. All right, but we got one more thing to go over. Now we're going to talk about how did these people got this. Oh, just to show you, the haplogroup M6 is part of the mtDNA haplogroup M, not Y-DNA haplogroup E. Now, who has the haplogroup M? A-M6 is the cosign people, the indigenous people of Southern Africa, which shows that they are not originally from there. How did they get there? This shows a transoceanic, what you call it? How they traversed over the oceans. This shows that they migrated. That was one of your points that was covered. And I didn't hear what you said. You was muted, sir.
Repeat that one more time about the koi sign. The koi
sign. have their marker is A-M6. M6 is a subclade of CT. We know that's a mega haplogroup. Their haplogroup was found in Puerto Rico, M6. Pre-Columbian time, 1,000 years ago. That is Negroid. That is what these people look like right there. And we already know there's a huge debate about the Khoisan's origins. They're still in question. They call them Bantu. Sometimes they call them Asians. But we got another one. T-266. Sorry, let me turn it over.
Don't look like that, Marlon.
T-266. 1,338 years ago. Either 43 years up or 43 years less. And we got a median date after everything was moved, 681 years, still pre-Columbian. Puerto Rico is part of the Americas. So they had to cross over to Mexico. They had to come down to North America. They had to go through South America to get to that island. So genetically, from a genetic standpoint, we got Negro haplogroups in America pre-Columbian time. That shows a migration, does it not? Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is go to this right here. We still on genetics. We're going to the source called inference of ancient Black Mexican tribes in DNA. It says peer-reviewed status, which you said is no, but this is a rebuttal against Dr. Cloud Winters. And we're going to see what this particular scientist said. And his keywords is Meli, Black Native Americans, Mesoamerica, Y chromosome, HLA, Indigenous Mexicans, right? It's copyrighted. You can find the source at the research was founded in a small Uthman Unden Fudio Institute Research and Committee. It's down there at the bottom. So we know this has come from an institution of science, right? And this is an up-to-date study. So in an up-to-date study, since we already understand that Negroid was changed to African, we shouldn't be alarmed when we see the word African, correct? Because we know anybody that is called African doesn't mean they came from Africa from a scientific standpoint, because we know the word Negroid was replaced to the word African for a political correctness term, or well, whatever case. So we're going down over here to the results. It says results: Indigenous Mexican and African archaeogenetic, archaeogenetic, some shit like that. I can't really pronounce it. Archaeogenetic DNA and HLA resources were analyzed to be determined to what extent admixture and had occurred between these populations. This did not happen during slavery. This is what you're going to find out. The samples indicated that indigenous Mexican, they used the word African, admixture has taken place across the Mexican fundamental male and female lineages, and that Africans and indigenous Mexicans share HLA allays. In addition, the archaeogenetic evidence, including African Mande inscriptions and Mande stratum and Mayan languages and African depictions and Mayan murals, what you heard what they said, right? At San Bartolo and Sultan, African skeletons generally, and ancient Mayan skeletons with sickle cell anemia support Spanish eyewitness accounts of Black Native American tribes, the Otomi, the Chintal, the Mayan-speaking group, the Yura, and the Mesoamerican when they arrived on the scene. Remember, for those of y'all...
Hold on, real quick, I'm sorry. Can you give me the author of that one more time of this study? I just want to make sure that I got it, please.
Okay. Make sure...
Are these screenshots of it, or is this
These are screenshots of the PDF file that I have.
Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure that I see it.
But you can type it in right here. All you do is I put your email in. They're gonna send you the research paper. That's the name of the paper right there.
Inference of ancient Black Mexican tribes. And what journal is this put in? What journal? Because I could probably just pull it up for free. I won't even have to pay for it. What's the journal that it's in?
I just go to the
Because it's peer reviewed, so it should be in a journal.
hold on real quick. ResearchGate. I got it from here. It's called the ResearchGate.
Yeah, ResearchGate is the research. So ResearchGate is the system where it holds all of the different citations that people have. So like when you're a professor, you can submit your work up there and it goes into your catalog for your curriculum vitae.
Okay, well, you could just pull up the information yourself. It was written by geneticists himself, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, let's get to it. This is what the geneticist said himself. Get down here to the conclusion. Doesn't mean you come from Africa. They're just saying that you look like an African. It says, we demonstrated that given the age of the African skeletons excavated at Mesoamerican archaeological sites, in Spanish eyewitness accounts of Black Mexicans, indigenous Mexican, African, a mixture, occurred prior to the European discovery of America. The date of the African skeletons indicated that there were several ways of West African or probably introduced African haplotypes, which we just went over, into the Americas. The 25 millions who sailed to America in 1310 probably had a major influence on the exchange of African genes in the America. That's them giving a little psyop because they don't know how the fuck these skeletons got there. And they just gave them a location. They said they came from West Africa. They really don't know. The point is to prove is that these people were Negroid people. And we know that the word African, that the Negroid was replaced with the word African. So they call it anything Black that they find African. It doesn't matter. All right. So do I have to read that? No, they're just trying to give other theories on how these people ended up here. All right, we're going to read this one right here. It says the Spanish left us mention of many sub-Saharan communities in Central America and Mexico. These dark skin, you see how they describe them? It says these dark skin.
Same source, correct? I just want to make sure it's same source.
Yes, it's still the same source.
Same source, the Mexican tribe source, right?
Yes, we're reading under the conclusion part.
Conclusion part, okay.
Yeah. So this is the whole conclusion of the matter, but we're still going to look at the haplogroups because it's still in this article. But it says this dark-skinned Indians were African, not Mongoloid Indians. Paul Griffel noted that when Balboa reached America, he found. In addition, eyewitness accounts of the SSA of sub-Saharan African population in the Caribbean and Mexico, anthropologists have found SSA skeletons at pre-Columbian sites. Some of the ancient Mayan skeleton remains indicated that they suffered from sickle cell anemia and illness associated with sub-Saharan Africans. The presence of sickle cell anemia among the ancient Mayans supports the Quattrofugis, if I pronounce that well, I don't care, claim that the Chontal Mayans were African. We already, again, I keep hammering it in y'all mind that the word African don't mean that they were African. It was literally replaced. They literally replaced the word Negroid with the word African. Okay, so we have proof from a geneticist himself that they found skeletal remains here. There were indeed what they call Negroid, or what you call quote unquote African. Okay, same thing they call us, right? Haplogroup A2 has the motif 16111. We still in the same one. We're still in the same. And 16223C, 16292. These are just many different traits. And it says haplogroup A is rare in Siberia, but they said Native Americans have haplogroup A. So where did they come from? Interestingly, haplogroup A is absent in Western North America and is common in parts of Central America and Northern America, where the Spanish reported the existence of Black Native American communities. In recent study of the post-classic Mexican of the Tolco, dated between 10 to 13 centuries, the subjects carried the founder haplogroups: A, 36%, B, 13%, C, 4.3%, D, 17.4%. We should note that the Yucatec, the Mayans were predominantly haplogroup A, the same haplogroup as Negro people. The Mayans in Honduras, a stronghold of black Native Americans, belong to haplogroup C. The mtDNA haplogroup A coming to Mexicans. Where is that? Where I was reading that at? Down right. Oh, it was down there. There you go. Okay, it was way at the bottom of the page. What we're reading at, we're reading under the word review, if you don't know. But I'm just reading the highlighted parts. It says the mtDNA haplogroup A common to Mexicans is the African Y chromosome are associated with YAP plus. Remember that word, that haplogroup YAP plus, because we finna dive into that. And it says in non-before present. The YAP associated with the A-AG transition to the DYS271 is found among the Native Americans. The YAP plus individuals include the mixed C speakers. It says YAP plus is often present in haplogroups C and D. And it says the DYS271 transition is of African origin. What did it say that the Native Americans had? Why do they have the so-called black haplogroup in them? Proof of admixture pre-Columbian time, which means the population had to been here in order for them to intermingle. And it says the DYS271 transition was found among the Wayu and the Xenu and the Inzano. The Mexican Native American Y chromosome bearing the African markers is resident in haplogroup C and D. Going down, the Native Americans carry a high frequency of RM173. The predominant Y chromosome in North America is RM173. RM173 is found only in northeastern United States along with the mtDNA haplogroup X. Both haplogroups are found in Africa, but it is absent in Siberia, which show proof that they intermingled here. They intermingled here, not in Africa. Not 20,000 years ago, not 70,000 years ago, not 100,000 years ago. This well over 1,000 years ago. This was very interesting given the presence of on RM173 is found among many American Indian groups. RM173 among the North American Algonquin group. It says range from the Ojibwe, the Chippewa, the Seminoles, the Cherokee, the Dogrip, and the Papago. All of y'all got Negroid haplogroups in you. Mexicans and Native Americans, shit. All that's out the window about you being a true indigenous. These Indian groups have a long association with Africans, and many lived in areas where Europeans found black Native Americans. Found them. Not came off the boat and became slaves. Found them. In most studies in North American Indians, any evidence of African haplogroups were excluded from all analysis. They've been excluding our haplogroups in America. Exclusion of evidence of non-American admixture and non-foundational American haplogroups is regularly left out of publications on Native American DNA. Why do they do that? What I just showed you from that source, I gotta look at that source again. This source, no, not this source.
Yeah, you never cited an author on in that source that you just read.
I told you just type it in and look at the author yourself.
I don't know the author. I need to know the author.
Well, that is your problem. Just type it in. It's only one article. That's the same thing. It's only one. Just type it in. Right.
This is the Winters article.
I'm not here to hold your hand.
Okay, this is the Winters article.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm asking.
It's the same thing. I've been reading the same thing.
Excellent. From AERA, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. But anyways.
With all due respect, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to wrap it up.
Oh, we ain't even got to the bones yet. You said you.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I just want to make sure that we get to the bones. Well, good.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, and also what the colonists said. The R haplogroups is carried by Mexicans. The frequency of R varies the Tara Hamara of Otami, the Yucateca Maya. And there is also a high frequency of the haplogroup R among the Cholo and the Chental, which stood around 15%. And the Cholo and the Chental also carry the E1B1B. The Spanish identified the Otami as Black Native American tribes. African ancestry has been found among indigenous groups that have no historical contact with African slaves, thus support African presence in America, although indicated by African skeletons among the Olmec, which you asked for, and the Mayan people. Lisker et al. Noted that the variation of the Indian ancestry among the study Indians showed in general a higher proportion in the more isolated groups, except the Kora, whereas the isolated as the Hilchal, and have not only a lower frequency, but also a certain degree of black admixture. The black admixture is difficult to explain because the Kora resides in a mountainous region away from the west coast. How did they end up with that? It's not evolution.
Can you cite your sources? I'm, with all due respect, I just want to make sure that we know
it's
exactly where this is coming from. Because right now, hold on, Chief Natural. Right now, and I won't interrupt you anymore. I just want to make sure that you are citing your sources, because right now it feels like a freestyle. I want to see sources cited. I want to know the author.
Do you see this? This is the name of the source.
Can you get it closer? I can't see that.
I brought this thing up like 2 or 3 times and I kept saying,
bring it back up again so I can see.
And you even typed it in.
Any citation of sources, I'm about to cut you off. Okay, I haven't seen one author mention, no kind of peer review, no kind of discussion.
We're not gonna do that. No, we're gonna finish this debate. We're not gonna do none of that mess.
Okay, well, you just hang in there. We'll hang in there with you.
Sources. That's all you have to do.
I'll have my stuff ready. Go ahead.
Because regardless, those haplogroups were here. They was here 1,000 years before Columbus, and they intermingled with a black population. You're not going to get your way out of this. So just stop that. All right. So here we go. Now we're going to this source right here. Now we're talking about the bones. And please get out of Discord and get out of Telegram and stop listening to other people and deal and fight your own battle. Because I know that's what you're doing. Tell Historic to please be quiet. Fight your own battle. All right. It says, man, a monthly record of anthropological science and published under.
Okay. I would cut to the bones because you've been talking over an hour. And so, again, if we're going to have a dialogue, I need for you to be able to let me go too. So I'm going to give you, again, hold on. I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
Hold on, listen.
5 minutes.
No, you so adamant. You said I could present my whole shit. That's what you said.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now you got to chill out. Now, because that's not fair.
Well, hurry up and get there, because it's getting
No. This is a debate, and you already said it at the beginning. So go ahead and keep your promise, like you just said.
Well, everybody, hang in there. I got it.
Don't trust me. I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave. Trust me. I want to see your points.
Why the fuck you even worry about the
Stop worrying about the comments. Stop going to your Discord. Pay attention to what's being presented. It says Negro skeletal remains found in Indian sites in the West Indies by T.D. Stewart, Division of Physical Anthropology, United States National Museum at Washington, D.C. It says the recent paper in this journal by Buxton, Trevor, and Julian, it says 1938, implies that an unformed Negroid physical type inhabited the Virgin Islands in pre-Columbian times. What they say, Negroid, we might as well replace that word with African, because that's what y'all love, right? And it says, not only is the implication contrary to the previous accepted findings in the Antillean area, as well being shown later, but it also fails to give an adequate consideration to the possibility of these skeletal remains representing intrusive Negro barrels. But it says,
can you show me some sources, my man? You haven't cited anything, and I'm about to cut you off now.
Do you not see this up here?
Yeah, but you haven't cited. I see a lot of screenshots.
It literally said TD. Do you see this? Do you see this? Oh no!
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm giving you 5 minutes.
TD Stewart.
I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Stewart.
April. When the 5 minutes is up, that's it.
Yeah, he getting whooped. He getting his ass whooped.
Okay.
That's what's happening. It says the more present skeletons in a sand or shell mound Indian origin, lacking careful strategic records. It is not certain evidence of primary association with the accompanying artifacts. It says, moreover, I venture to say that few anthropologists familiar with the American Indian skulls would mistake for Indians. Physical anthropologists would probably be less conservative and say what they would say when they found this. There you go in the telegram again, y'all. Negro instead of negroid. All right. Down here at the bottom, because you ain't going to give me that time, I'm just going to summarize it. They're going to use Gamboon skulls from Africa as a reference panel to tell if these skeleton remains were African, what you call black, or Mongoloid. That was the whole purpose of this article. And they came down to the conclusion that they were Negroid people. Now, since you is such a hair, you can go ahead, because I still got some more. The rest of the shit I got right here, this is full of anthropologists talking about Negro skeleton remains.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's give it up for Chief Natural, everybody in the chat. So let me go ahead and turn this around real quick. All right, excellent job, excellent job. So whoever is cheering for you, deserve it, okay? So, real quick, to go over what he was supposed to do. Chief Natural's 3 objectives. He was supposed to produce direct, verifiable evidence of transatlantic contact pre-Columbus, demonstrate biological links between ancient Africans and Olmec populations. Real quick, one in the chat, did you hear any of that? 2 if you didn't.
He said 1 in the
2
chat.
if you didn't hear it.
2 in the chat if you didn't. Put a 1 in the chat.
2 if you didn't hear it. 2 if you didn't hear it.
We got 1s and we got 2s, buddy.
Okay. Got a lot of 2s coming in there. There we go. All right. Refute the dominant archaeological and historical consensus with rigorous scholarly methods. Okay. Publish peer-reviewed articles that successfully challenge the current body of evidence showing that the Olmecs developed locally from earlier indigenous. He didn't do the first one, so that we can all see this. Sure didn't do the third one. Okay? So since he didn't do it, I'm going to do it. So in the words of the famous We Know the Truth, or on our side, we like to call him We Know He Effing Lying, let's roll the corn. No, we weren't here before Columbus. Duh.
I'll build that mound. Build that mound.
Go ahead and mute. Thank you. Explanations of actual terms. Negroids, Mongoloids, Caucasoids, oh my. Negroids, Ethiopians, okay? Mongoloids, Caucasoids, Redskins, or American, and Malayan were all characteristics defined by anthropologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. You know, I had a feeling, Chief, that you were going to pull this. I had a feeling that you were going to go in the Negroid, Caucasoid route. So I wanted to make sure that I had some supplemental information there waiting for you when you did that. He coined the term, well, first of all, his work was important to the field of eugenics, okay, and social Darwinism. So when we talk about social Darwinism, we're talking about the power of racism, the power of inequality, the way that you can take someone and just based on the way that they look, you know, that lookership that we were talking about earlier, right? The lookership that we was talking about, the same one that you were using to describe those Puerto Rican bones, which, by the way, we're going to get to that, brother. Don't worry. That was used to describe inferior traits, such as, and using dark skin as a way to try to link education to the color of someone's skin. He coined the term Caucasian believing that the Caucasus region, believe it or not, produced the most beautiful humans, okay, most beautiful humans, and was the origin of all others. This typology was not initially meant to rank races hierarchically, though it later became used that way. So let's take a look at some people real quick, okay? I'm glad that he was talking about a lot of the social science there, because one of the things that I do as an educator, I educate my students on social science. So, eugenics, so that everyone knows, eugenics is the belief in or practice of improving the genetic quality of the humans. Hold on real quick.
Write your source, please.
Yep, don't worry. We got sources. Trust me, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. It's the belief in or practice of improving the genetic quality of human population, typically by encouraging reproduction among people with desirable traits or positive eugenics, and discouraging or preventing reproduction among people with perceived undesirable traits or negative eugenics. So notable eugenics such as Roland B. Dixon will use terms like ungoloid, mongoloid, negroid, okay, to attempt to justify racial differences and uphold white supremacy. Now, again, remember, we listened to Chief Natural, and he was supposed to show us that these people were indigenous to America, right? And so he went through this whole speech about negroid and how it changed from African, right, in the 1950s, but didn't really give out the full connection of what was really going on during this time period, which was racism, right, and bigotry. And the fact that he's even using the term negroid, which is an outdated term, is crazy to me as a black man. Sorry, as an Indian. Okay? So, Webb Du Bois. Hope you know who he is. No, it's okay, Chief Natural. Trust me, I got it. You drove enough. Let me take the wheel. W.B. Du Bois will write a letter seeking clarification on how this man described negroid and American Indian. Let me show you guys this real quick, okay? We're gonna go back to that next one. This is what it says, and I wanna make sure that everyone sees it. It says, Dr. Roland Dixon, this is from Dr. W.B. Du Bois. See, when I talk about sources, this is how you cite them. Dr. Roland B. Dixon, Peabody Museum, Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts. My dear sir, would it be possible for this magazine to have permission to republish fully or in part the address which you gave before the American Association of the Advancement of Science, or WEB? Now, here's the response to Dr. Du Bois, okay, from Brown, excuse me. My dear sir, the short paper which I gave at this meeting of the American Association for the Advancement of Science on the racial history of the American Indian was a brief summary, of the chapter in a book which will very shortly be published by Scribner's. Right? Scribner's. The paper will not be published since the fuller treatment will appear so soon in book form. If you are interested to republish anything on the subject, I suggest that you write to the publishers and arrange with them. The book should be out now in a few weeks. The garbled newspaper reports of my paper seem to have conveyed a somewhat false impression. I want to make sure that we understand what the word false means. False means not true, inaccurate, a damn lie, right? It's all sorts of synonyms for this, but let's just keep it as inaccurate, okay? Just not true. Actual Negroes, came into America from Northeastern Asia, but that people representing the original stock from which the Negroid folks developed so came into the New World at a very early date. You will find the whole matter explained in full in the Racial History of Man. So you know what I did, y'all? I got the Racial History of Man. Let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so let's make sure that we zoom in too, because I don't want us to miss any of this walk down, okay? Because this is going to be a walk down of epic proportions. And I want to make sure everybody sees it. Okay? So, it says on page 7, it is extremely probable that the real criteria of race are rather complex and that various external features of pigmentation, hair form, etc., together with many structural and metrical factors are involved. But we are still in this matter, groping more or less in the dark, since we do not yet know with certainty whether there is any real correlation between the various criteria employed. We are not certain, for example, how far the form of the skull is necessarily associated with the form of the nose, or the stature, or the skin color. It seems logical to assume that a broad or round skull and the broad face should go together, and that the breadth of one should vary concomitantly, with that of the other. Yet in view of the fact that disharmonic forms are far from uncommon, in which a broad head is associated with a narrow face, or a narrow head with a broad face, it is possible that after all, there is no necessary correlation between these two criteria. In other words, this ain't got nothing to do with anything, all right? They not alike, right? They not like us, essentially, all right? So, let me pick up right here. It is possible that after all, there is no necessary correlation between these two criteria, and that they, as well as all the others, may vary quite independently. In other words, we cannot point to any group of criteria and say that these are inherently connected and form a true racial standard. Let's keep reading because this is so interesting. I'm so glad I found this. It continues on to 8. Okay. The present status of the whole question of race is therefore somewhat confused and uncertain. Okay. Confused and uncertain. For not only is there a wide divergence of opinion between different investigators in regard to the number, distribution, and origin of races owing to the varying criteria which each adopts, but a certain hesitancy to face the larger problems boldly and without prejudice is apparent. The horizon has often been limited to a particular geographic field, and the student has been loath to view the local problem as part of a much larger whole. The use of a multitude of criteria has in many ways complicated the question, and we are in danger of failing to see the forest for the trees. Okay. Now that's just one of the sources, right? But trust me, I got more. Let's head back to the actual PowerPoint. Okay. Not this yet. I'm gonna make them wait for this. Okay. That's what I meant to show. So Negroes de Terra versus Negroes de Guin. Let me go ahead and scoot this back. Sorry, y'all. I'll make sure that everybody sees this, right? Because when my man here started talking about Negroes and Caucasoids and Mongoloids and all these other oids, right? He tried to associate all those different terms to black. Well, let's go ahead and let's examine this for a quick second, okay? So, Negroes de Terra, that means blacks of the land. It's referring to indigenous people, okay? Negroes de Guin or Negroes de Guinea are blacks of Guinea or African. Negroes didn't always mean black, believe it or not, in terms of the racial category. What it actually meant was slaves, because this was the beginning of Portuguese enslavement in the encomienda system, right? Which separated individuals in the casta system, right? Which made sure that you had a tiered system of people who were trapped in slavery. Yes, slavery. And yes, absolutely, I have a PowerPoint. Brother, I'm a teacher. Why would you even ask that in the chat? So let's go ahead and take a look at Brazil real quick, okay? Brazil is where most of the slaves went. About 90% of them went to Brazil, because I know that somebody's going to question that later, but don't worry, I got that covered. Let's take a look at this for a second. If you don't believe me, at least believe the source here from Yale University by Stuart Schwartz, okay? So Yale University, Stuart Schwartz, common cause and confrontation in colonial Brazil. Let's see what he said about the Negros again and the Negros de Terra. Control F here. Okay, here we are. Guys, and excuse me, I got stuff all over my desk right now because when I cook, I gotta have all my ingredients. Can't just be having everything in a cupboard, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. The term. Okay, let me make sure I get this bigger. Because I know y'all pretend it's a little down bad, so it's okay. The term Negro itself implied a servile condition and was often, but not always, can you guys see this? Hopefully you guys can see it. Often, but not always, used as a synonym for, what's that word again? Oh man, not Slav. Indentured servant? Nah, not that one. Oh shoot, slave. Oh, that's what it meant. Okay, so slave. Thus the commonly used label for indigenous people in 16th century Brazil, Negros de Terra, blacks of the land, revealed a perception of them in a servile status, more or less equivalent to Africans. So there's a clear distinction here between Indians and people that were tied to the land already and those Africans, individuals who were imported during this transatlantic slave trade. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we get all this cleared up because I don't want any misconceptions here. Okay, I don't want any misconceptions whatsoever. Okay, at all. It was published in the 2000s, by the way. Somebody was asking. I'm sorry if I missed that. Here we go. Let's keep going. We already saw this, went through that. Now, something caught my eye because he said we were called Negroids, and we were. And we were called Negroids during that 1920s era, because I know they like to always talk about Plecker, Walter Plecker, okay? But see, one of the things that I always do is I go in and I look at the census records, and I look at what the census calls us and what they've always called us, okay? So here we go. I want to make sure that everybody sees this, okay? When it comes to black folk, we are in red. We are in red. No, I got it. You're good. Go ahead and go on mute, please. All other free persons of color, free colored males and females, slaves. It was like that until 1790 to 1840. Let's go over here to this section. This 5-year section. Okay, hold on for a second so that everybody can see it. Black, mulatto, black slaves, mulatto slaves, quadroon, octoroon. Let's see how it called us later in this 5th-year section, okay? Negro, right? Negro or black or Negro, right? Black, African. Do that. Oh, there we go. All right, I don't know what's going on. All right. And then black, African American or Negro, black or African American. Notice it doesn't talk at all about Negroid. Negro was not an actual classification. This was an anthropological classification. And I know you find it funny, but again, I have a feeling that you didn't even understand any of the words that you were actually talking about. But we're going to keep moving anyway. Trust me, it's going to get even better than this. So, here's a little background for you guys, just so that you understand exactly what's going on. Who were the Olmecs? Because he really didn't talk about that too much. He didn't talk about that at all. That was the whole point of the whole debate. Remember, I made fun of Heliante, that black Olmec that you had, that AI created. You don't remember? This is why we had this whole conversation, right? So, who are the Olmecs? The Olmecs were one of the earliest major civilizations in Mesoamerica.
Can you bring up your source? You keep showing commentary.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. What do you mean? I'm showing you sources already.
This
Trust
is
me.
commentary.
Chief Natural, I promise you it's going to get good. I promise.
Can you give me the author
I got
name?
plenty of sources. Don't
Give me the
worry.
author
I got
name.
plenty of sources.
The
Not
only-
screenshots.
the only author
sources.
name I have
Go
is
ahead and
Dr.
go on
Dickey.
mute. Go ahead and go on mute. Come on, man. Don't get kicked out of here. Don't start crashing out now. It's just getting good. Okay? You good. Trust me, the primary sources and evidence is going to come. Just wait. Okay? The Olmecs were one of the earliest major civilizations in Mesoamerica, flourishing from around 1500 BCE to 400 BCE along the Gulf of Mexico, okay? Or modern day Mexico, Veracruz, and Tabasco. Known for their colossal stone heads, pyramids, and early writing and calendar systems, often called the mother culture of later civilizations like the Mayan Aztecs, Olmecs were indigenous Americans with no proven links to African, European, or Asian civilizations, okay? So let's go ahead and break down Ivan Van Sertima. And you asked about primary sources and literature and all that. Trust me, brother, I got tons of it, okay? This easy work, okay? Trust me. So this is from Penn State, okay? Penn State University, okay? Happy Valley, right? So nose form was shaped by climate. Oh, let me make sure y'all see that. Shaped by climate. Because remember, most of the time when we talk about Olmecs, they always talk about that nose shape. Okay, this is another source, by the way. These are sources. Nose shape, right? How come the nostrils are so big on black people? How come the Olmecs are so big and their noses are so big and their lips are so big? Okay, well, let's see what the science tells us. So here it is. This is an article based on the research that other people had done, right? By Andrea Messer. Ooh, gotta stop moving that thing. Hold on for a second. There we go. So it says, we are interested in recent human evolution and what explains the evident variation in things like skin color, hair color, and the face itself. Says Mark D. Shriver, professor of anthropology, Penn State. We focus on nose traits that differ across populations and looked at geographical variations with respect to temperature and humidity. Okay, temperature and humidity. One of the things it also says here is that they consider a variety of nose measurements looking at the width of the nose of the nostrils, the distance between nostrils, the height of the nose ridge length, nose protrusions, external area of the nose and the area of the nostrils. The measurements were made using 3D facial imaging. Okay, kind of like what you did with the AI. Okay. Here's what the researchers found, though. Let's make sure that we get this, because this is the most important part. The researchers found that with the width of the nostrils and the base of the nose measurements differed across populations more than could be accounted for by genetic drift, indicating a role of natural selection in the evolution of the nose shape in humans. To show that the local climate contributed to the differences, the researchers looked at the spatial distribution of these traits and correlated them with local temperatures and humidity. So they use science, okay? Not the dictionary, science. They showed that the width of the nostrils is strongly correlated, meaning related, connected to, strongly correlated with temperature and absolute humidity. So in other words, okay, positive direction with the effects indicated that wider noses are more common in warm, humid climates, while narrower noses are more common in cold, dry climates. Now, let's go back real quick and look at something.
Excuse me, I do got a question. What's the name of that source you just had?
Oh, no problem. Hold on for a second. Go right back to it.
It's the one from Yale, right?
This is called, no, this is not from Yale. This is from Penn State.
Penn State.
That's what I'm pulling up now. This is Penn State. Okay. So nose form was shaped by climate. That's what this is. Penn State.
I appreciate that. Let me mute up.
Yeah. No problem at all. Let me see here real quick. I set this thing up. All right. So that's where we are right now. Let me tighten this up real quick. Boom. There we go. I ain't gonna move too much. So Now let's give it up for Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, because Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, one of the things that he did do, we can't ignore his scholarship. He is one of those individuals that did bring our minds to question whether or not Africans made it, right? Whether or not Africans were able to cross the sea of the Atlantic, past the ocean gyres and all that stuff that you guys typically deny, okay? So I'm going to keep moving forward on this. And like I said, make sure you stay with me. So just to make sure that we elaborate to the equator, I hope you guys know what that is. The equator here, okay, is where most of the heat is contracted on the earth, where the sun shines the most, right? So if we're talking about nose shapes and we're talking about wide nostrils and non-narrow noses and all that, you're going to find it around these areas, right? Even here, because that's still very close to the equator. Even though the line is right down there, that's still relatively close. Okay, it ain't all the way up here in Canada, right? Or Montana. It's right here, very close to the equator, just like the Caribbean is. Okay, so let's keep going. Here's where Van Sertima got it wrong, though. Number one, he did the exact same thing that Chief Natural did. He had the audacity to only pay attention to lookership with those Olmec colossal heads. Right? Because we know that physical anthropology has shown that broad noses and full lips are common amongst native indigenous people as well. Right? Not just of black people, but native indigenous people that were living in the Americas before African Americans, before Africans, native Africans were stolen from their homes and brought over there to Mexico and other places. Right? He also didn't use any archaeological evidence of transatlantic contact. Okay? He didn't have any, and I know y'all gonna love this. He didn't have any of those African boats, no tools, no language, no crops, or even cultural influences from Africa, right? None of those things have been found in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. So I don't know what that study was really trying to explain to you, other than that there is sub-Saharan Africans that are going to make it to America via the transatlantic slave trade, okay? So lastly, and it's very important that we get this point, because this is what typical pseudo individuals or people that want to prove a point, right? They'll go through the whole dictionary. They'll give you that whole BS questionnaire. They'll do all that stuff, right? And really what it all boils down to is cherry picking or misrepresenting certain historical information, right? That's why I went through the whole Negroloid, right? Or Negroid or Mongoloid or all those others, right? I went through all of that because Van Sertima cited Arabic and early European sources like Abu Bakari's second supposed voyage to suggest African explorers reached America. Now, one of the things that Chief Natural did, and this is why he ended up coming at me, right? He wanted to show these Olmec heads. And one of the things that's interesting about these Olmec heads is that these Olmec heads vary from lookership, right? You have some with probably wider or wider noses. Some of them have been ruined based on climate and weather and erosion, right? That happens. But you have some that look like this, okay? Starting not to look so black now, right? Some that look like this, okay? You have some that look like Heliante, but still not enough to really make that conclusion, right? So we got all these different Olmec heads, right? All different. Wide noses, just like I told you guys about the Native Americans, right? All of them, okay? So we want to look at the colossal heads because that's usually what they always put up here, but let's do something else. And let me make sure I close out all these tabs so that my computer doesn't die on me. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Now, this source is from the Met Gallery, okay? This is actual art. Now, remember, he said that all these people were black, right? The Olmecs were black, right? Remember, Heliante. Look at this one. We still want to say that? We still want to use that? What about, hold on. I'll make sure we get them all. What about this one? Still making that claim? These are all Olmec Figures. This
Hey,
is
when
a
is my
figure.
time? I'm ready to go ahead and rebuttal.
No, that's okay. Nah, you'll rebuttal when I'm done. Just like I
Okay,
did.
you gave me 5
Okay.
minutes, so I believe you need to have 5 more minutes now.
Nah. That's not gonna work like that, Chief
I think
Natural.
you
Hold
need to
on.
give me-
It's not gonna work like that. I know you triggered, brother, but let me go ahead and cook. Okay, you cooked long enough. You cooked for over an hour. You're good. You're good.
put a
Look
time
at
on
this
your
one right
computer.
here. Look at this one right here, y'all. Look at this one that looks like Buddha, right? Look at this one, okay? Doesn't look anything like those facial features that he was talking about earlier. See, I had everything. Because when someone comes in here and tries to tell me that the Olmecs are black and they don't have any primary sources, then I give them primary sources. Here's a primary source. This is a figurine. It's real. Okay? So, here we go. We're not done yet. See, I told you I'm preparing a meal here. Historical consensus. Let's go ahead and look at the historical consensus here. So I got to keep moving this around, man. My office is a little small. It's important to understand, if we want to talk about the Olmecs and who was here, then we need to understand who was available during that time period that could have possibly made that trip. Okay, we got 3 different civilizations here. And I wanted to make this chart because I wanted to put some things into perspectives. Because pretty soon we're going to be talking about those haplogroups. Okay? Ancient Egypt, or Kemet, right? The kingdom of Kush, which is also known as Nubia. Nok culture. Okay. All three of these are all ancient civilizations that existed during the time period of the Olmecs. Okay, of the Olmecs. Now, here's the dates so that we all understand, because again, I told you guys what the dates of the Olmecs are. And it's important that we understand what BCE means. That's before Common Era. It used to be called BC, before Christ, right? BCE is counting down. So 1550 to 1070, that's counting down. Right now we're living in CE, so we count up, right? Last year was 2024. This year is 2025, okay? These are all the dates, okay? Where they are, the cultures the culture that they created, right? The artifacts that they created, things that we know of. And of course, I want to make sure that we're all clear here, and I'm going to prove it with some evidence. Connection to Olmecs, no evidence of contact or influence. No evidence of travel or trade with Mesoamericans. No maritime evidence or transatlantic contact. Again, he was supposed to give us that, he didn't. So again, just so that we know where these places are located, here's Nok culture right here. This is called West Central Africa, okay? This is Egypt here. And then, excuse me, I'm holding this, I don't want to drop it. And this is down here, you can't see it, but this right here would be where Nubia is, southern Egypt, or what they call the Upper Nile, hidden towards the Upper Nile. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Egypt, Nubia, and Nok culture. Notice how all these all these figurines, okay, look. All right? None of them look like the Olmecs. I mean, not one of them. All right? So I told you, we having a nice little Texas soiree right here. Let me make sure that we understand who Abu Bukhari is, just so that we understand who the Malian Empire is.
My turn.
Okay? It's okay. No, it's not. It's not. Go ahead and go on mute. Trust me, buddy. I'm almost done. Trust me. Hold on. I'm cooking right now. Hold on. Stay out of the kitchen. Dinner will be served soon. Go ahead. What you want to ask? Because I'm on a roll, bro.
Is you trying to go through all your sources?
I'm going through everything that I can to make sure that we address those questions.
You didn't let me do it, so that's not fair. So you got to
trust me. We'll let you do it at the end.
No,
There's
you can't
gonna
do
be time
that.
for
You got to let me go through my stuff. You didn't let me do it.
Trust me. I said, look. I had all my sources ready.
For you too. I've been counting.
I got you. It's okay. It's okay. Look,
so let
I'm
me
teaching,
go.
okay? And the more that you
right there and pause and let me go.
The more that you talk, the longer this is going to be. Now, don't run.
Then you need to give yourself 5 minutes, like you said.
Nah, I'm going to keep going.
Give yourself 5 minutes.
You're holding me up, so I'm going to keep just giving myself more and more time. So just go ahead.
I thought you said it was going to be a fair debate.
Look, it's going to be fair. You
cut me off in the middle of my presentation.
I asked you to look for sources. You didn't deliver. So I'm delivering.
Hold on. You can't do that. How are you going to cut me off in the middle of my presentation? And when it's my turn, all of a sudden you got to keep going on. That's not fair.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
said- you
Gotcha.
said this-
Trust me,
this
it'll be
debate
over
was
soon.
fair.
It'll be over soon. Okay, just go ahead on mute, man.
So let me go ahead and
cook.
go ahead. Let me go ahead and do what I got to do. Then
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you can finish off with yours.
Look,
I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna stay here.
look. We cooking right now, okay?
Look, you're
And
too
I want to
excited.
keep going. Look, you have a
Too
choice.
excited. I was
Chief
excited
Naturals.
too.
Chief
You ain't let me get off
Chief
on my
Naturals.
excitements.
Uh-uh.
Why should I let you get off?
We're not doing it. Look, you have a choice. You can either leave or you can sit here through it and then wait, okay?
It was initially supposed to be because this is redundant.
Yeah.
I know. But again, I wanted truth, right? I wanted truth.
Just
right?
let me go.
And I
do my
wanted, look,
thing.
I wanted
It's fair.
truth.
All right, let the audience speak.
Okay.
I think the audience should speak.
I know what the audience will say, but again,
Hey, audience, put a 1 in the chat if it's my turn. Put a 2 in the chat if it's his turn. It's been an hour from him. Now it's my turn. So let the audience speak. They want to hear you or hear me.
a lot of twos in the chat.
We got a lot of ones that just popped up too.
A lot of twos. You see that?
We got a lot of ones right there. See, we got a lot of ones.
Look,
We got ones and twos.
I will give you your
all right, how about
opportunity.
you do a poll? Do a
I
poll.
want to hear your sources, but
Do
you
a
were
poll.
rambling, brother.
Do a poll. Because you're not being fair. If it was me, I would have said, yeah, brother, I went to. I did
yeah, I'm sure you
now
would've.
it's my turn.
Let
you
me
need to
keep
talk
cooking.
to Ford City and everybody else about how I conduct my debates. You're not
I
being
got you.
fair. You're being like historic foundation right now.
Go
So
ahead.
you need to
Go
you need to
ahead.
come on and let me do what I got to do.
So those of you that are in the chat that are putting in twos, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. If y'all hang in there with me, okay? Because I'm just debunking more and more and more, right, of his claims. That's why all of a sudden he's like, no. So let's go ahead and
Don't
give it
try to
back
paint
to
a
him. It's
narrative
okay.
of what I'm trying to do.
We're gonna
You
give it
generally-
back to the
you
craft.
generally
We're gonna
went
give it
for
back
an
to
hour
Chief
and I went
Natural.
for an hour.
It's okay.
I'm just being fair. It ain't got
Go
nothing to do
ahead.
with how the fuck I feel about your sources.
Got you. I know. Got you. Here you go.
So don't try to paint
Go.
a narrative on me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Hey, you're up here now, and I'm gonna close my
here we go.
camera.
Now I want to ask you, how long
Now-
should I go?
What I want you to do, here's what I want you to do.
Just
Chief
tell me
Natural.
how long. Don't tell me what the hell to produce. Tell me how long I need to go.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes.
10 minutes not long enough. I need more
What the
than
fuck
that.
10 minutes gonna do it? He just
Nah,
You
bro.
did a whole hour. I want 30 minutes.
Look, I don't want to. Oh, you want 30
Give me
minutes?
30. Just give me 30.
Okay, hold on for a second. Hold on. Now, hold on for a second. Let me make sure you said you want 30 minutes, right?
I want 30, and you got to
Okay.
get 30.
I will give you your 30 minutes. Hold on for a second, real quick. Okay. Don't worry. I'm going to give him his 30 minutes. Okay? Trust me. I'm going to just keep going after his 30 minutes. So it don't matter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
Exactly. The man respect from these niggas.
There you go.
Exactly what he stated, right? Again. All right. Because he told you to go to a book, right? Matter of fact, no, we don't have to do it. We go straight to his book because we already got the narrative. He said, Dr. Dixon, he stated that didn't mean Negroes came here, right? That's what he said, right? So let's go to his book and see exactly what he stated. What you read was the reader's thoughts. You read the introduction of the book.
No,
And I know
what I read to you, hold on for a second so that we're all clear. What I read to you where he clarified, that was a letter that he wrote. Don't try to do
Exactly.
that. That was a letter that he
guess
wrote.
what?
You
In
know
the
what you
letter,
did that?
he said.
That's a letter that
in the
he
letter,
wrote.
All right, let's bring up the letter
He
because in the
wrote.
letter.
Don't try to lie. That's a letter that he wrote.
Excuse me. This is my
Go
time.
ahead. Go ahead.
In the letter, he said, wait till his book come out so he can get more clarification. So we're going to look at his book. And at that part where you're talking about the reader's thought, he was telling the reader not to think like that. But let's go to the conclusion and see what Dr. Dixon said in that book. Okay? So here we are. Trying to play trickery. You got that from Historic Foundation. I already debated him on that matter. I knew where all your points was coming from. The other point with the letter that came from Blackwater. You got help in this debate. That's what you did. That shows you that you wasn't confident. So let's go ahead and debunk you like how I already debunked Blackwater and how I debunked Historic. So let's go ahead.
Tell me he needs to stay muted too.
And you need to stay muted. It says The Racial History of Man by Roland B. Dixon. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the general conclusions. The general conclusions, not the introduction. And let's see Roland B. Dixon retract his words about the Negro people. Because you was being dishonest. Why didn't you read the whole book? It says the stature probably tall. The proto-Negroids may be supposed to have been dark brown in skin color with strongly curly or frizzly hair. Oh, but you just said don't do that because that's racist. It says the pigmentation was intensified. It says the hair became increasingly woolly. What did Dr. Dixon say in his letter? He said, wait till his book, right? So this is the rebuttal to DeBose. And it says, so that the Negroid peoples today, that's the Negro, that's you and I, the one that Dr. Dixon said, hey, I'm not talking about Negroes, modern Negroes. I'm not talking about them. What is he talking about? He said, so that the Negroid peoples today may be regarded as much blacker and hair much woollier than their what? Remote ancestors of 30 to 40,000 years ago. Clown. The proto-Negroes, what he was talking about in that book was our ancestors. He was not talking about modern Negroes. That's how I got your ass, and that's why I was laughing. Now, we go back where he said, since he just said the proto-Negroes from 40,000 years ago is the modern Negroes' ancestor. Let's go back. Let's see what he said about our ancestors, the first Negroid to ever inhabit the earth. That means first Negroid. This is the information that I used to debunk the same information you just pulled on this live. You was not confident. I thought I was going to debate somebody that had some real history, some real information, but you pulled the same shit I already defeated. It says the cranial from the mounds are furthermore of two periods, one contemporary with the erection of the mounds and the other later intrusive. That means one is different from the other. Although the number of the cranial complete enough for determining the types is small, it seems possible to reach the following conclusions. What did Dr. Dixon say? The same person that you said he ain't talking about Negroes, but he's talking about the ancestor of the Negroes. First, the builders of the mounds were a people among who dolichocephalic factors were in large majority. Second, that these were mainly of the proto-Australoid and the proto-Negroid types, and thus show affiliation with what tribes? The early Iroquois were a black tribe, and the southern Algonquin was a black tribe, and the third and the intrusive burials of here's the Native Americans. The dates show an even larger proportion of long-headed elements, some of which, however, left terrain, thus differentiating them from the earlier cranials, among whom the narrow nose, which is the Native Americans, the white people, long-headed factors were practically absent. He just said the people of the ancient is different from the modern. He just said that those people were Negro people. And what did Dr. Dixon say? He said that those people was our ancestors. What? Fucking clown. That's what you get for listening to historic dumbass in that goddamn Discord. It says from the let me finish. It says from the foregoing we may perhaps venture to suggest that that was the earliest stratum of proto-Negroid, that means the first Negro to ever inhabit the earth, and proto-Australoid types in Mexican region. What did I just read? You didn't give no type of breakdown against the haplogroups that I talked about in my first presentation. Instead, you wanted to argue about some shit I didn't even say it in a debate yet.
Talk about it.
It says, driven back into the acid areas of the northwest of prehistoric times. What did he say? The Negro people was there in prehistoric times, but surviving as a minority still among the old timey. Did we bring up this tribe? You ain't debunked this tribe. It says the Terahami. Did I bring up this in my first presentation? You ain't debunked that. And the Pima. Did I bring that up? You didn't debunk that. Oh. The dominant elements, however, were everywhere a mixture of Alpine and Alpine types. Niggas, and modern Native Americans intermingle in America. Boom, cut, net, build that fucking mound like I told.
Period.
Now let's talk about Roland B. Dixon. You just talked about a fucking letter Then he said, no, I'm not talking about modern Negro people. I'm talking about their ancestors. You see how you see how Roland B. Dixon just finessed the fuck out of Will DuBose?
Amen.
Yeah. Fucking clown. Let's go. Let's go. We're not done. Let's go. Earlier man in the New World. Oh, we're gonna see this shit again. A different biological argument concerning Africans. What did I say? I brought out Africans means Negroid, and pre-Columbian America is based on physical anthropology. Hold on, let's bring it back. What did you say?
What?
Then the first thing you brought out in your argument was you said that is racist. Did you say that was racist?
It is racist, yes.
Excuse me. Did you say that was racist? Then proceed to talk about the physical character of the noses of Native American. Yeah. Boom, cut. You turned around and used my same ideology. Cut.
So you using racist ideology?
Excuse me. Did you not go around and talk about the shape of the all makes faces and say, who they look like modern Native Americans? The same eugenics ideology that you said that was racist. Right. Boom, cut, use my shit. You lost this debate.
So you know your own source just debunked you, right? But keep going.
I'm not done. Look at him. Look at him. He rocking. He nervous. He nervous. Be quiet. Because your friends that fucked you up. All right. It says a different biological argument concerning Africans in the pre-Columbian Americas is based on physical anthropologists. Various skeletons findings suggest to such scholars of Jeffers that pre-Columbian people with Negroid characteristics lived in America. What did Dr. Dixon say? Boom. It says, interestingly, Jeffers, this is another anthropologist. You got to debunk him. And rebuttal by commas. And both cite that the work that the element physical anthropologist Ernest Houghton as proof of the opposite points. Houghton suggests that the dimensions of the cranial remains found in America vary. Some have rounded dimensions, typically Asiatic peoples. There's the Mongoloid. Others have long and narrow, similar to the Australoid. Oh, that's another type of black people. While yet other are similar to Negroids. And those have been called proto-Negroes or pseudo-Negroes. Negritos in similar terms, indicating that they did not exactly conform to the average dimensions of what? Among Africans. Boy, you done. You are done. I already proved by the migration that the L3, L1 was found here in American pre-Columbian time. That's American. You did.
No, you didn't.
Excuse me.
I got it. Don't worry.
Excuse me. Do I got to bring back up
what is the current information? Tell me what the current information of Proto-Negro is.
Excuse me. We're not done here.
Tell me what the Proto-Negro is.
Excuse me. We're not done here.
That's okay. We're going to get to it. Don't worry.
Here go the EBTR. Scroll over. What does it say? L3E2B1A. I thought you was drawing up a blueprint from it. Nigga, you didn't. You failed. I showed the migration of Negro people coming here in a period of black people being here from a genetic standpoint, from an archaeological standpoint, and now I'm finna go into the artisan standpoint. And guess what? Guess what we're gonna use? We're gonna use the Mexicans themselves. Yeah, the very people that you said no, they're us. Let's use the Mexican words themselves. How about that? Let's translate. Boom, here it is. Without moving away from the racists yet, we will ask ourselves this question: did black people exist in America? We already said something when talking about the god Lex Lucian and the cosmogonic sons. Hold on, make sure that I'm reading the right shit. No, here it is. We're gonna jump on down right here. It says, for many people, the existence of black American populations is completely a new fact by the Mexicans themselves, by the Mexicans anthropologists themselves. To give some ideal of them, I'm going to briefly enumerate the tribes that have left evident traces of the two Americas. Here we go. Written in Spanish over here. Translated. The ancient coracles of Haiti represented a nation beast of historical.
Can you go back to that? Can you go back to that? No, to the original one, the translation. Can you go back? Yeah, go back.
This is right here.
Hold it. Can you zoom it in? Zoom it in right here so that we can see it.
See right here what it says.
Okay.
Governments, has tribes, K, Ben, yada 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 yada. You see right there what it says Los Dis Americas right there.
Trust me, we're gonna get to it. Keep going.
Los Dis Americas, that means the Americas. Watch this. We go over here. What does it say? What does it say? Hold on. The two Americas. It says los two Americas. The other one is translated the Americas. So yeah, stop trying to act like that I'm disingenuous.
Gotcha.
I'm not.
Okay.
Now it says right here. It says the California and the Caribbean islands, also called the Caribs. What they
At
call
some point,
them
we're gonna get the
from the
Puritans.
Mexicans themselves. What did they call the Caribbean islands in ancient time? They called them Negroes. The Mexicans called them themselves, or they called them the Guyans. Black, a race of Caribbean family. Yeah. The Oreos or the Couture mentioned as almost black by Garcia. We won't count that because he just called them black, but you had a problem with it. Look at him trying to get help, y'all. Teacup, put a teacup in the chat. Put a teacup in the chat. Put a teacup in the chat.
Brother, trust me, I know I need no help. I need no help. Trust me, I promise.
Oh, trust me, you did got that help. You got that help from Black.
We almost done with mine. You just keep going and
it says the Black Negroes and the Yaros of the Spanish. Excuse me, I'm just chilling. The Avars, Black Negroes and the Euros of the Spanish, blackish and deep brown in color, still existing on the banks of Orinoco. Their neighbors call them monkeys. Ain't that a racist derogatory term to black people? It says the Chamas in the Guyana, dark Negroes like the Hottentots. Oh, they even gave a comparison. And it says the Mijipas and the Portuguese and the North and the Matayas and the Kovit, originally from Brazil. Brown, black, short hair. What is short hair, people? That's an afro. Vespucci said that himself. All right, so we already got that. We got information from the Mexicans themselves, Mexican anthropologists themselves in their own land, stating that there were Negro people there. Cut. We gave you the haplogroups of L3, L1, which you did not debunk. Cut. What else did we get? We gave you fossil remains. Excuse me. We also gave you fossil remains in the Virgin Islands that the anthropologists themselves said were Negroes in the year 1250. Cut. Now we're finna give you Christopher Columbus' official work. What he said, what he found when he came here. Then we're done. I don't have to go no further with you. You can play these goddamn games all day, but you're done, buddy. Now here we go. We're going to the colonizers' words, and we're going to Christopher Columbus, Espesto Christopher Colomb. When you kept talking about where's the author, I showed the author every time down here, every time. So you can stop that, okay? Meanwhile, you showing commentary and talking off your commentary, decided to talk about fucking noses, but before that you said, "Oh, that's racist." Cut. You're done. You use my ideology. Now check this out. 1493 from the same source, Espesto Christopher Colomb. It's written in Latin.
Hey, when you're done, don't run, okay? When you're done, don't run, because I'm gonna.
Please, I never run, but hey, buddy, I never run. Export
don't
city
run.
about me. XOF about me. X all them motherfuckers about me.
Got you. No, it's okay, y'all.
You're rocking.
Let them keep cooking.
Not me.
You on the ropes. You on that one rocking.
Now here we go. Here goes the source. Make sure I get the official page number. Where we? Right here. This is the page. Look at it very closely. It's in old Latin. It was translated. I translated it myself. It's from the John Carter Library. Just to let you know, you see it right there at the top. All right, now we're finna pull up the official translation. And the official translation is right here. You see, and we're gonna come on. You see, it says translation. We're gonna go down here right here.
And how do we know that again? Can you explain?
These people, oh my God, no, you're not gonna play this.
Can you go back and explain that? Because right now that's just a screenshot.
You're not about to play this disingenuous game with me because I already proved myself.
Can you go back to the author? Notice that he's not talking about the author anymore.
Look, buddy.
It's
I
okay.
put it in ChatGPT myself, and it translated it from old
You're gonna
Latin.
make this cooking even worse.
Yeah, you ain't cooked shit. Trust me.
I know.
But it says these people.
I know. I have.
It says the people, men and women alike, possesses. It says the people, men and women alike, possess a skin color that is somewhat blackish. When guess what? It shows y'all. It showed the Native Americans monitor today. It showed them as pale yellow skin. So it's showing you two different people was there in somebody's line. And it says almost like the Ethiopians. Would this be considered Negroids, Africans? And it says they have smooth faces without beards or wrinkles. It says the sun shines with greater brilliancy than here, yet without scorching. They enjoy the favor of the sun and moon equally, as if they live nearer to the center of the heavens. Now let's pull out Christopher Columbus' brother's work. History D.S.D. Fernando Colombo. What year? It's the 1500s. Here it is right here, 1571. The same thing. What did his own brother say? Right? What did his own brother say? We got to make sure that's the right page. Okay, over here. This is the page brother translated. You see it says Italian to English, page 202. So you can see yourself, page 202.
Yeah,
Translated.
scoot it back so I can see. I can't see that actually. Can you scoot it back? And who is this from again? Just say it one more time.
It's from Christopher Columbus' brother himself, D. Fernando Colombo.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. Uh-huh. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to pull up the translation. Now this says, but the people who lie further towards the east up to the Cape of the Thanks to be to God are almost black. But again, y'all said those people were pale. And it says have ugly look. You already know they describe the Negro people of their land like that.
This is brother, correct? Hold on real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure that we're getting some clarity.
Fernando Colombo.
That's his brother, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's his brother. All right, keep going. Yeah, you're doing great. Keep going.
And it says, and somewhat black is overall very phlegmatic. As the Indian who was taken said, he eats human meat, raw flesh, as well as the kills them. And wears the earpiece pierced with holes so large that the chicken egg could easily fit in them. So we got Christopher Columbus stating that these people were black as well. We got Columbus stating that these people were black as well. Now we're going to go back, right? We're going to go back. Debate 2, Pan Goofy debate. And we're going to look at this book right here called The Decades. And this is the book right here. It's called The Decades of the New World or West India, containing the navigations and conquests. It's a big old paragraph, but it was made, this book was published in 1555. Yeah, we know he getting help. We know. But we're gonna go to page.
Trust me, no help. I promise you.
Trust me. You got help. We know.
I don't need no help, brother. I promise
after
you.
this debate,
Just keep going. I got it all set. I'm letting you cook for this reason.
This is 310,
called
right?
Slow basting. Go ahead.
Paying attention? Mm-hmm. Are you paying attention?
Yep. Keep
In this
going.
book, we're going to page 310. Mm-hmm. Take it to your mom. We're going to page 310. Take it to your mom. Okay. 310. Right here. We see it right here. Now I'm letting you know I translated it. It's in Old English. And we got hold on. Let me try to zoom in from a different
Yeah, you're
route.
good.
All right, so right here. All right, so this is the page right here, 310. You see the words black. All right, my bad. You see it's right here on the sides, the same thing where it says search inside 57. I'm searching for the word black. We got to the proper page. It's right here on 310. All right, so I put this same text, the whole entire text, and it says the color of the Indians. That's what it.
What happened to him? Chief.
I'm here, man. My son had come here.
Well, I'm like, what the heck happened to you? Go ahead.
I'm here. But like right here.
I thought you unalived on that misinformation.
Misinformation. Oh, okay. I'd like to see you debunk the book from 1555. Okay, but other than that, right here it says, like I just showed you, to show a crossing again, it says, I did the translation. It says, of the color of the Indians, page 310 in this book. I translated some modern English. There go the teacups again. Of the color of the Indians, ChatGPT. So I pasted it up there and it gave me a translation. It says right here, it says the black, well, let me make sure I'm reading the right shit. You're right here. It says the black after pies. It says lodges of the West is known for white, from white by the color, by philosophy to the complexion and trade, and to black by the color, which is the type of the blacks and white are put into the West Indies. And it says, which are all together in general called black. It says, although their complexions are black in color, yet they are of different shades and degrees, as some are darker than others. Their blackness seems to proceed from the influence of the sun, just like how you say in Africa, people got black because of Africa, right? I mean, because of the sun in Africa.
Hey, just let you know. Hey, hold on real quick. Just to let you know, I just wanted to let you know, 6 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
you're good.
from the islands is in the same equilateral line. So the people in this islands genetically are black with woolly hair. They in the same line. And this is what this author is telling you when he came to the islands and seen these people. You just talked about the sun brilliancy causing the nose to be broad and the skin to be dark and the hair to be woolly. So you telling me that didn't happen in the same equilateral line in the islands? And also in Mexico, it did. And he's going to give you the various complexions. I mean, the various places. And it says the blackness seems to precede the influence of the sun and the position of their lens, which makes many of the black appearances as the Indians. It says, hold on, going over here. It's going to give us the name of the places. This is the next page. It says back at the Camp of Buenos Esperanza of the chestnut color at the River of Plata, being all the equal degrees from the color of the same equinoctial line. It is known that the men of Africa and America that live under the same line called the zone, called the zone, are black. He just said the same people that live in Africa and the same people that live in America in the same equilateral line are black. This is what the Spanish
Did you say zone? Did you say zone, people? I just want to make sure.
It says it's called the zone.
The zone A. Okay. Keep going.
It says not alone, but generally all in that line. And it says the same line also passes through Mexico, Cuajota, Lima, and it says Nicaragua, Panama, Santo Domingo, Havana, Cape St. Augustine, Sayanas, and Simone.
Yes.
Yeah. And it says the other halves of the South, which follow the same equilateral line, same shit, whatever. It says from the coast of these coasts, extreme black men were found with shipwrecked Spaniards. Thus, the newest Bolívar discovered rivers of skin. Yet the philosophy may reason that the variety of color is not of the body of men and not of the earth, which may not be allowed to be the will of God nor the sun. That's them giving a religious belief. And it says it is most likely by God's hand to ordain it chiefly to fulfill the work of his wisdom, though permit the nature of the world, neither to declare his omnipotence on both. And this is what he proceeds to say. He said, the blacks in this world are not unlike skin. He said, but they lack also the natures, hopes, and desires. Yet before the world's eye, some are seen fairer and fallow. And
3 minutes. Just letting you know, 3 minutes.
It says another thing to note greatly by the next lineage of the Indians. It says in this, they have one nature skin, complexions, and figures, more distinct than other men, all which was learned declare in that nature philosophies to search the experience of the colors and complexion of men in the novel of the new world. So basically what he's telling you, that it was by God they were black. They live in the same line that y'all say caused black people to become dark with big noses and woolly hair. He said the same thing happened in the islands. But y'all got those modern books that omitted it out and changed it. This is from 1493. I mean, not 1493. This is from 1555. 1555. Right here. The decades. 1555.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? You were talking about them being next to the equatorial line.
No, it don't say equatorial.
It don't say equatorial, fool.
What does it say?
Be funny.
Yeah, why you trying to be fucking funny and shit? Nobody ain't fucking stupid.
No, I'm not. No.
So other than that, you already lost the damn debate because I already proved there was Negro people here. And I already proved.
You got to go. I'm going to get to go next. You're good. You got 2 minutes left.
Put it up there. Let's see if he can sing.
Yeah, let's bring it up. Let's zoom in on the fucking word too.
Yeah, let's see if he can sing. Come on.
Do they say equatorial line?
That's economical.
Do they say equatorial line though?
No, but that's economical.
Does that say equatorial line?
No, that's economical.
Okay, then shut the fuck up then. Why you trying to be fucking?
Not equilateral.
I didn't say equilateral, dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're crashing out on me. I thought you were winning the debate.
Yeah. But like I said,
you crashing out. Don't worry.
Now here we go. Why you trying to eat up my time? I desire one more minute while you sit there asking me questions. It says the premise.
You're just coming in the kitchen to get some samples.
It says the primitive black nations of America by Professor C. Rafinas. Right? And we're gonna skip on through. You see the name? By Professor C.S. Rafinas. Mm-hmm. And now we're gonna go there and he's gonna tell you that these people were black. It says the black.
And what was the date? Hold on real quick, and I'll give you one more minute to add because I know I'm interrupting you. When was that source written of that doctor?
This was in the 1800s.
1800s, and what's the name of the source? The primitive black nations.
Brother, just type it in yourself.
Okay, nope, you're good.
Because I gave you the sources last time.
You're good.
I gave you the sources last time, and you didn't even pull up nothing to debunk anything I'm talking about. So I'm wasting my time doing it.
Oh, I got it.
But other than that, yeah, of course you got it. We're waiting for historic. This is historic debate. I'm not really debating you. I'm debating historic.
That's what you're saying.
It says the black Orioles are really, or the Orioles of the Spaniards, ugly black and brown or brown Negroes. He just called that these people were Negroes and they've been here pre-Columbian time. When they came here, this is what they seen and this is what they saw and this is what they said. It says, yet existing near the Orinoco in a language known called the monkeys. Did I not bring that up earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you didn't refute it. You didn't debunk it. But it says the Chamas of the Guyana brown. It says the Chamas, the same thing I brought up before. The Chamas of the Guyana, brown Negroes like the Hottentots. Did I bring that out earlier? And you didn't bring out shit to the refute it. I'm done. But this the only thing I gotta say. I'm gonna turn my shit around.
Okay.
That's for my conclusion. Right?
Excellent. So you done?
Hold on. I gotta give my conclusion.
No, don't.
No, this is my conclusion. Hold on. I'm not running.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna listen.
You go ahead and give your conclusion. I got one too.
I'm very confident in what the hell I did. I just refuted and debunked everything you just did.
I know you are. Keep going.
But other than that, he made the argument, said using the term Negroid or Negro is racist, but proceeds to use the same theory, the same practice to talk about the Olmec statues and various indigenous people's skeletal remains. He just did that, but tried to undermine me. So therefore, I win that point. He tried to talk about the word Negroid. He brought up a modern sense of the term Negro from the 18th century, and I showed y'all all the terminology of the Negroids from different languages, and it all meant black, not African. He lost in that because he started way too late in the fucking game. 3, he brought out the Dr. Dixon's letter to Will DuBose. Dr. Dixon told Will DuBose, wait for my book. He brought out the introduction, the thought of the reader, and I brought out the conclusion where Dr. Dixon slapped this nigga in the fucking face and said, the proto-Negroids is the ancestor of the modern Negro people today. Who's the modern Negro people today?
I think it's my time now.
Right?
So I'm going to go ahead and take over.
What else did you bring up?
No, it's okay. I got my time back.
Hello.
Chief Natural, I'm going to mute you because your time is up.
Just give me a few seconds.
Nope.
Give me a few seconds. You brought out the tropical line. You said don't do that. You said that's racist. But don't do what? I do the same thing, right? I do the same thing to show there were black people here. All of a sudden, that's wrong. So I'm showing that you Pan-Africans don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know how to debate. You don't know how to do what you don't know how to win. You literally just proved all my points that I was right.
All right.
But everybody got the recording. We're going to see. Now I'm going to sit back and laugh at this shit.
Perfect. Now, don't unmute. A lot of people think that Chief Natural won, that he was cooking. Of course, it's his people, so it's okay. I want to make sure that we make something very, very, very clear when we talk about Negroids. Again, and I thought I made this clear already. Again, these racial terms that are being used interchangeably. You need to understand the context. And one of the things that Chief Natural does a very good job of is showing screenshots with no damn context. So it's important to have that. Now, let me show you this, okay? I'm going to go right back to this, right? I'm going to go right back to this point. Negroes the Terra, right? Negroes the Green. He never debunked any of those. I don't know if you saw. He never debunked any of those at all. All he had was those screenshots, right? All he had was those screenshots. I was waiting for him to actually. Oh, why are you unmuted? Why are you unmuted? No. We're not going to do that. So
create a point for me, and I never even said those points.
Gotcha. So
yourself.
Gotcha. So it's important to understand because he kept going back from Negro to African, right? Negro to African, and then all of a sudden he just made that 360 back to Negro, right? Or Negroid, sorry, Negroid. He has all of these different classifications, but he never paid attention to the main goal. Why are you unmuted? Why are you unmuted?
Do the same thing with the Olmecs.
Gotcha. So hold on.
Makes modern Native Americans. You just
so look. I don't want to drop you. Just stay up here. You cooked, okay? You cooked.
Method.
So I got you. You cooked, right? That's what you said. You cooked.
It doesn't matter.
Gotcha. So he cooked, okay? He still did not bring up any form of peer-reviewed sources. All he did was bring up 1923 pseudoscience. We understand. Hold on. Why are you still interrupting me, bro?
Online.
Stop.
Online. Be real.
Stop. Okay? We're going to keep moving forward, okay? Because, again, he doesn't understand exactly what he read, but I'm going to help him understand. Okay? I'm going to help him understand. So, when we talk about the Negroid again, okay, just so that we're clear, when we're talking about the Negroids, this is an outdated term based in racial pseudoscience. I'm going to go right back to that letter that I showed you.
You use the same thing for your point.
He is still crashing out. Why is he crashing out? And he supposedly won the debate. Now, hold on. I'm not even done yet, okay?
Because I already won. I already proved my point.
Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to read it one more time. This is Webb Du Bois, the letter sent to Webb Du Bois when he asked, bruh, mute, okay? The garbled newspaper reports on my paper seem to have conveyed a somewhat false impression. My suggestion is not actual Negroes, right? Not the ones from Africa, not the actual Negroes, not them. Not yours. I'm talking about the proto-Negroids where all life started.
I won this shit.
Okay? And I know you did. So here's the thing. The issue is this.
Go to the page, the conclusions, and read exactly what he said about the proto-Negroid, because he just said those are our answers.
I'm going to take this out so we keep interrupting. So,
page 493
and Negroid are two different things entirely. Now, see, I saw what you did, Chief Natural. I like what you did, actually. You took all those old dictionaries, right? You took all those old dictionaries and you said Negro, Niger, and then all of a sudden went to Negroid, right? Negro and Negroid are not the same. One is a scientific classification, Negroid, made by anthropologists who are eugenics and liars, right? The other was made by the Portuguese conquistadors or the Spanish conquistadors that tried to separate people based on racial status and slavery, right? And I went over that clearly with you, but you missed it, okay? That's why I let you go ahead and ramble for those last 20 seconds or 20 minutes, right? Or 30 minutes, because you thought you cooked. I wanted you to think that you cooked, but I got more. Don't worry. Here's the thing. You think you got a history teacher flustered, bruh. You don't, right? You are a well-organized liar, and I'm going to show you how you're a well-organized liar, okay? So let's keep going. This is where we left off, and I want to make sure that we get this. Make sure you stay muted, man. You proved your point, you claim. So let me go ahead and prove mine, shall we?
Make a point.
So go ahead and mute up. I don't want to hear anything from you or your background noise. We're good, okay? So Abu Bakari theory doesn't add up, okay? On his way to Mecca, I want to make sure that we
That's
get.
not my source.
I got you. Let me
Complain about
cook.
Abercrombie theory.
I got you. Let me
Why are you
cook.
debating at this
Stop
point?
interrupting the information. I know. Look, you're depriving your people of information. Let me give it to them because I know you won't. All right, because you don't know it. All right. So on his way to Mecca, okay, Mansa Musa described his predecessor, the ninth Mansa of Mali, Abu Bakr II, or Abu Kari, had sent out a voyage across the ocean, never to be seen again. Okay, this is Van Sertima's words, and I want to make sure that we still think about Van Sertima's words. Don't let that escape you from this East Indian pretendian. Okay, Van Sertima asserted that his voyage would come into contact with ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, sharing culture, etc. Hence the Olmecs. That's why we're talking about all of this, y'all. Okay. However, here's the issue: the timeline does not add up. Let me show you how crazy pretendians can be when they want to use this claim to try to prove that Africans got here. Because again, I'm going to walk you through it. It's okay. I'm going to put this up together for you just so that you can get the dates. I'm going to make sure that we got it here. Okay. So Olmec civilization begins in 1500 BCE. Okay. This is Van Sertima now. Don't forget. I want to make sure that I drag this all along because, again, it all fits with the haplogroups. Peak Olmec society, San Lorenzo declines. This is 1200 BCE. This is 900 BCE. The Olmec civilization ends in 400 BCE. Now, 400 BCE, that comes well before 500 CE. So the Olmecs are gone. Then the Malians show up. Want to make sure that we get the math here.
Hey, just for the record, I brought out Dr. Cloud Winters, not Ivan.
I know you did.
I don't know.
We're
who
going to
the
get
hell-
them too. I want to make sure that everyone understands. I want to make sure that everyone understands. I want to make
You
sure.
have to refute my points. That's not my point.
I'm going to, but you're not letting me. Stop being afraid. You're not letting me. Okay. He's been debunked multiple times. Okay. And so I'm going to do it. All right. I'm going to give it to you, but you guys stop interrupting me. So 500 CE is when they come about, right? That means that there's a whole time lapse there. If they got to America, they wouldn't have been the Olmecs. Olmecs had already died out by then or unalived out by then. Everyone in the chat, my bad. Okay? So real quick, so that you all understand, Van Sertima mistook facial features, just like Chief Natural. For genetic proof, imagined voyages without evidence and built theories on legends instead of facts. Now, I'm going to walk you through even more of this. Okay? I brought this up for a particular reason because there was a video that I saw on your page, and I'm so glad that you follow me because I ended up following you back. There were some things on your page that we needed to understand and clear up here. Okay? And why it's important to understand this as we move forward. Indians, again, remember, blacks of the land and blacks of Guinea. Very important. Aztec, Mayan, and Mixtec people use their codices for depicting either archaeological, or worship practices. Okay. In the case of the Aztecs, there are codices. Their codices were used to depict laws as well as military campaigns. Okay. Just real quick for all of our Native American brothers, more stuff here. These are gods, okay? Notice the color of the gods. Notice the color of the gods. We're talking about individuals who are not only brown in color, right? But they make a clear distinction on black as well. And if we're talking about black and how they viewed black, we're talking about individuals who were viewed and revered as gods amongst those individuals. So here we see this man. One in the chat if he's black. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the source. One in the chat if this is a black man that you see. Okay. Now, do those individuals look black to you?
Thank you for the ones, friends. Thank you for the ones. I appreciate it.
Negroes de terra, Negroes again.
Negros de Terra is Brazil, not Mesoamerica.
Doesn't matter. I want you to understand this,
you're being
right?
disingenuous.
We're talking about, again, I know that. We're talking about Juan Garrido here, right?
You bringing that up? As if that's Negro de Terra.
I'm going to tell you why. Again, I'm telling you so that you understand that there was a racial difference and you keep interrupting.
You just lied to your audience.
This is why I didn't want to co-host with you. You're doing that. So stop. Let me go ahead and cook. Okay?
Why did you call Miss?
Hold on. There's more. So someone asked, where's the source? Okay. Someone asked, where's the source? I think it's very important that we understand because, again, this man tried to struggle through all these different Latinized words, Hispanized words, and he didn't know any of them. So we're going to walk through this with him so that he understands this. Next time he brings up a codex, any kind of Latin script. It's okay. I know you didn't bring up any codex. You brought up Latin script, so that's why I'm getting at you. Hold on. This is why I got at you. Just hold on. Okay, you keep interrupting me. You're not letting me cook. Okay? So, Slate, why are you interrupting me? Stop.
Because I love to interrupt. Let's go.
Okay. So, slave revolt of Mexico City in 1537. I think this is very important for us to understand because when we talk about blackness and we talk about what people look like skin color wise, this gives a very good depiction, right? So, I want to make sure that we get this clear because there's a clear differentiation. Remember, he was talking about what people were doing in 1492, what people were describing Africans and Indians as in 1492. That is what he did. You saw, right? You saw. So here's the thing. I want to put this in here so that everyone sees. Make sure I zoom in here. Okay. Hold on for a second. I didn't mean to put that in there. Mendoza.
Let you know the Mendoza Codex was created by a white man, not the people themselves.
Yeah, I'm aware. Trust me. Okay. So trust me.
Created by the indigenous people.
Trust me. And you know what? You taught me. So that's okay. Let me go ahead and cook. Trust me. Okay. So on December the 10th, 1537, Viceroy Antonio de Mendoza informed the emperor of a plot intended to free the slave population of the young colony. On the 24th of the month of November past, wrote Mendoza, I was warned that the Negroes, okay, want to make sure that I zoom in on here because he always talks about the Negroids and the Negroes. Okay. Again, if you followed me, you'll understand that there's a clear difference between those two terms. Okay. I was warned that the Negroes had chosen a king. Okay, talking about a slave rebellion, and had agreed amongst themselves to kill unalive, F1 in the chat, unalive all the Spaniards and rise up and take the land. And that the Indians were also with them. Okay. Real quick, so that we understand again what these Indians look like. Hold on. These are the Indians.
Here's this codex.
1537.
Oh, that's too late in the game, buddy.
I know. Black man unalived.
One in the chat that's a black man. Put a one in the chat that's a black man, y'all.
Yeah, I know you guys don't think he is, right? But there's a clear differentiation, right? A clear differentiation of who these individuals are. But again, you don't have to take my word for it. Okay. Let's read the words of Bartholomew de las Casas. So I think that's very important that we get this too. You wanted primary sources? Here we go. Okay. Wednesday, July the 4th. Okay. And it's very important. I like that it's July the 4th. This is Independence Day, right? So I'm about to liberate Chief Natural from this misinformation he be spewing all the time, right? Black people who have the tops of their spears made of a metal, which they call guanin, of which he had sent samples to the sovereigns to have them assayed. Okay. When it was found that of 32 parts, 18 were of gold and 6 of silver and 8 of copper. Bro, I'm about to drop.
Teacher on the move. Can you pull?
Okay.
That's commentary. There's something you typed out. Can you pull up his real words?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Pull up his real words. Thank you. I should have Bartolome de la Casa's book.
Okay. Destruction of the Indies, right?
Gotta bring out my sources, but he get to read commentary though.
I got sources. You won't let me present them.
Native Americans is so biased and Pan Africans so biased.
I know.
So biased. Yeah, I'm gonna make you do that work. Pull up his real words, not that bullshit.
Hold on real quick.
Okay, go to the Internet Archives and pull up his book. That's what you can do.
What'd you say?
Go to the Internet Archives.
I know how to get there, brother. Trust me. I got you. I got you. Don't worry.
That quote,
be good.
That can be, you can be disingenuous, which you show some disingenuality on this damn app already. So you need to go ahead and pull up his real words. I'm treating you the same way how you treated me.
Here we go. I got him.
All right, pull it up on the screen.
Okay, hold on.
Pull up a book. We want to see the book.
Let's see.
If it's in Latin or some shit like that, you can go to ChatGPT, put it in translate a lot of times if you want to do that. But we're not gonna take no comments. Mm-hmm. It ain't gonna type shit that you typed yourself. That's not no source.
Wait a minute, who says it's not a source? That I typed. I didn't type that out. I got that from a source. What are you talking about?
If I would have did that,
I got the source, brother. I got the source.
Slandered me. You would have did all the above.
I know.
I'm doing the same thing. Pull up his real direct source from the book.
I got the source. Don't worry, bro.
Now pull it up.
I got the source. Don't worry. I'm pulling it up.
You're gonna debunk the haplogroups.
I'm getting there if you let me.
This show is a long ass time.
We're still stuck on this.
Man, hey,
we're still stuck on this.
I gotta put my kids to.
I would like to. I would like to.
Buddy. I'm gonna get it 10 o'clock. Hurry the fuck up.
You know what? How about this? You want the haplogroups? I'm gonna give you the haplogroups.
Let's go ahead, because you bringing up points that I have not brought up.
I'm gonna give you the haplogroups. You wanted to get there? Let's get there. Hold on for a second.
Get to it.
And make sure you mute up, because I'm tired of meeting you over and over and over again. Okay? So haplogroups.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now finally you finna go to one of my points. Finally deal with one of my points.
Got you. I got you. I'm working. I was working to it, but you didn't want to hear the other stuff. But it's okay.
That's why you losing.
I know I'm losing. Okay.
You got nothing but Native Americans.
Can you look? If you interrupt me again, I'm gonna have to drop you, bruh. And I don't want to drop you because I don't want you to think I'm running. So just stay muted, and I got you. Okay. I got you.
There was leverage for him not to pull up Bartolome de la Casa's words. Just pay attention to what the fuck you did.
Mm-hmm. So if we want to talk about haplogroups, okay, he brought up the L haplogroup, right? And he made some very good points with the L haplogroup, but we got to look at the Y DNA first because he was banned too. Stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me. It's okay. I'm not going to drop him. No.
Yo,
I'm not going to drop him. I want him to stay up here. Okay.
Man too.
Okay. So these are.
Right.
You're fried.
Are you done?
I'm gonna keep unmuting myself when you allow my name.
If you unmute yourself again, I'll mod somebody.
Then that's fine. I don't care. I already got the W.
Right.
Got you. Hold on for a second.
I'm gonna go and get your own fucking word issue.
That's okay. I have to mod, and see, I didn't want to.
That's fine. That's fine.
I didn't want to mod, but you kept doing that, so I had to add one. Okay, I had to add one because you kept interrupting me during my point, so you won't let me flush it out.
Yeah,
so again, you don't have me flustered, bro.
Big bad
You
now.
don't have me flustered at all.
Help against big bad now.
At all. You don't have me.
No
You don't have me flustered. Okay. So
you are. Trust me, you are.
You've been right.
now let me go ahead and explain my points. Okay. As you can see,
Here we go.
he talked about haplogroups. Let me bring up a study because, again, he still has never brought up any peer-reviewed information. Remember the 3 things he was supposed to do. One of them was to bring up peer-reviewed scholarly resources and information, and he didn't.
You agreed to initial the debate proving that
Okay?
pre-Columbian.
He didn't do it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay. In order for us to stand, right? In order for us to understand who was living here at this particular time, we have to understand haplogroups, right? Haplogroups that are passed from the mother and haplogroups that are passed from the father. Okay. I want to make sure that you guys see my study here, right? Ancient DNA Studies in Pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. This is by Rocco Rada, right? Sulami, Texiera, and Lamas. Okay. Now he said that there were African haplogroups there, right? If there were African haplogroups there, then that means that all of these findings would have found, right, that there was clear haplogroups discovered in Mexico with the Olmecs. So let's see. This is what they found. Okay, this is what the scientists found. Okay, they found that the most frequent mtDNA haplogroup was A. Okay, A, 58%, followed by haplogroups B, 25%, C, 14%, and D, 3%. Furthermore, the genetic diversity of the analyzed mitochondrial sequence was higher compared to the Teotihuacan individuals, or Teotihuacan individuals, which supports the multi-ethnicity hypothesis. Additionally, 2 studies by Alvarez Sandoval and colleagues also supported the hypothesis, using 29 individuals from Tepacasco, another multi-ethnic neighborhood. They also found the 4 autochronosis mtDNA haplogroups A, B, C, and D, but reported no statistically significant difference between haplogroups frequencies either. They suggested that the populations from Tepacasco was heterogeneous since the beginning of the settlement, and that diversity increased over time. Now, I know that you don't like science because you're a pseudo, right? But those are the facts. And so if we want to go back, to the map, see, that's why you don't want me to present the map. Okay? Here are the black people, right?
Talking about modern DNA, not ancient.
Yeah, I know we're talking about modern DNA. This was
DNA.
A DNA. You didn't listen. So he didn't listen, y'all. This is A DNA. What is A DNA? This is ancient DNA. Ancient DNA. So we can talk about modern DNA all we want. You can try to dismiss that all you want, but the haplogroups are the haplogroups. They don't change unless they mutate, bro.
Show me up there.
It's okay. It's okay.
Show me the ancient DNA.
I'm sure. I just showed you.
Show me. Show me in the article that it says ancient DNA.
Look.
What you go to pottery for?
Look.
Go to the ancient DNA in that article.
I'm showing you right now. Hold on. I'm going back to the study. Okay.
Now read it again.
Okay. Look. This is what it's talking about. ADNA. Look.
Hey,
where else would it be? What are you talking about? This is exactly what I had up.
Stop babbling and just zoom into the part where it
go ahead and
says
mute.
DNA.
Go ahead and mute. I'm not done yet. So go ahead and mute.
Oh, disingenuous.
Yeah.
What?
Disingenuous.
Let me go back again.
If you're confident, show the part where it says ancient DNA.
Right.
This is ancient DNA. If we're talking about these individuals, right, and genetic diversity, we're talking about the ancient DNA of those bones. They're no longer, they are unalive, bro.
To what that article says.
Look.
Zoom in. And
you don't see it?
read the part.
Bruh.
Ancient DNA on that part.
Look. Right there.
I read the cheater when he added mine.
Bruh, I've already read it. Let me cook.
You
Okay?
didn't. Because
We can call it disingenuous all you want.
Attention, buddy.
It's
It didn't
okay.
say nothing about
It's
ancient
okay.
DNA in there.
I did so.
Modern
So hold
population.
on. You're not. You're still interrupting me. Okay.
Why are you so scared? Read the
Go ahead.
source. Read it.
I'm not going to drop you, but you're about to
defend
have me
me,
get
right?
you dropped,
Read it.
bro. Because you're not letting me talk. Okay. You're not letting me talk. You interrupted me. You're not letting me cook. Okay. So I want to make sure that everyone understands this, right? Because again, he came up with a lot of claims. He talked about the Puerto Rican article. He talked about LDNA, right? If we look at the people who were existing at this particular time, because again, he tried to go sidetrack. Remember, there were 3 points he had to do. This is all about the Olmecs. He went into a whole different direction talking about South America, but that's okay. Here are the people that were alive during the Olmecs.
They're lying and cheating all night.
During
Go
the
back and
Olmecs.
read the
So,
ancient part, brother.
early Native
You're confident
Americans,
in your information.
the Olmecs, ancient Egyptians, Kingdom of Kush.
So
Nok
ancient Egyptians
culture.
was living in Mexico?
Okay. No. So you don't
Go back
understand
and read
what's
that paragraph, brother.
No, brother.
If it was me,
It says
I would
Olmecs,
have done
early
it.
native. See, I got
You're
a
a
feeling
fraud,
that you don't know how to
buddy.
read, bro.
You're a fraud.
It's okay. We're going to keep you straight.
Y'all can't.
Now look at the haplogroups.
If y'all
Look at the
been why
haplogroups
they
for a
keep sending
second.
nigga after
Okay?
nigga.
Y'all see it yourself. Y'all see
Hey,
it
Shaka,
yourself.
if he doesn't let me finish, you can go ahead and drop
It
it.
don't matter if you drop me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Y'all lost. Y'all can't never
You
win.
prove to your
Uh-huh.
audience that you won't read
Y'all
the ancient
fried.
part.
Uh-huh. So,
These Native Americans proud. Go back.
uh-huh. So here's the thing. E1B1A, E1B1A, E1B1D, right? For Kingdom of Kush. Nok culture. L1, L2, L3. Let's go back to the map real quick so that he understands this. Okay? If these individuals were black,
Don't weird samples, brother.
if
You're not
these
doing
individuals
anything.
were from Africa, if these individuals had those haplogroups, they would be there. But they're not there. And even the study that you gave us didn't prove that they were there. That is my whole point and premise. Chief
At least
Natural.
show me the date.
My whole point and
Show me the
premise.
date. Show me the
You
dates
think
of
you
these
cooked, but you
samples.
didn't cook, bro.
Show me the dates
You
of.
didn't cook. So it's okay.
Just show me the dates. Prove to me that it's ancient. Give
There
me a
are
date.
people-
I gave you a date.
Trust me, it's bruh. I'm trying to get through it and you won't let me.
Location, and now look,
This
you're
is-
pulling
this
up some
is crazy.
goddamn pottery.
Okay.
You're pulling
So-
up some goddamn pottery.
This is what they
Yep.
do.
This is all
Brother,
Olmec.
Go back and read the paragraph.
Oh.
We try. Stop
Don't lie to
Do
the
that.
people.
If you
Why
don't
you-
stop interrupting me, you can drop him.
running.
Because I won't be able to get through it.
Stop running.
I'm gonna keep doing it until you go back and read that paragraph, bro.
Okay?
Let's do it.
You can drop him, Shaka.
Yeah, because you lost your fucking face.
I know I did. You can drop him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost, buddy.
The fuck you talking
You
about?
drive me, it's over with.
Then it's over with. Now, let me get back to my presentation because clearly he didn't understand it and he wanted to talk and crash out. Okay? He didn't win anything. And I'm going to explain to you why he didn't win anything. Okay? Let me explain this to you all. All of these are Olmec figures. All of them. Okay? And I did a very nice job.